step up in this game like I'm hammering nails. Earth's a flat plane, listen up, I'll tell you tales. Home Depot vibes on my tools, no fails. Level up my vision while the world just derails. Jaron said it first, now I'm chasing the truth. First wanna know, is he shilling or aloof? Now I'm flexing with the facts while they playing the fool. Flat earth, no curve, I'm breaking all the rules. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they say no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. Rolling deep through Antarctica, you know what's up. Snowflakes in the air, yeah, we sipping from the cup. Well, Duffy said, trust me, I came out of the blue. Started from the hustle, now I'm building my crew. Wait, I'm stacking up truth like I'm lumber from the store. Got the blueprint, baby, I'm ready for war. See the horizon straight, no dip in my sight. Thug life on the flat, bringing knowledge to the fight. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So I'm here to break walls, I'm kicking down doors, hash street life, I'm hustling what's mine is ours. A whole new vision, we gon' stack and we gon' rise. With my crew by my side, we defy all the lies. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on a 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on our 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah.
And we're off. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Let's head on over to the VC.
Good evening.
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 Evening. Who else? We're all over in the other room, I think, still at the moment.
Really? You guys been there the whole time?
So we got Omnivore trying to straw man us. It was brilliant. He was about to get on a boat with a theodolite and was expecting us to happily carry on at that point. But we've strapped a grandfather clock to his back for him to take on his boat, and we're now letting him go on voyage, which is where we left.
Yeah, so he's gonna swing the pendulum with the grandfather clock. Is the plumb bob gonna drop out of the sextant? Out of the bottom of the sextant?
Oh, shouldn't even be holding one.
He wanted to take a theodolite to do navigation, right? So I said, well, if you're doing that and you're going to take a theodolite to get your flat earth elevation angle on a boat, you may as well take a grandfather clock as your timekeeping device on a boat, because both are about as useful to each other, aren't they?
Oh, man, I missed that. Did I just miss that? Was that just recently?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Maybe 10 minutes ago. Maybe 15.
Oh, okay.
Somebody trying to white knight when me and Brian objected that it was unreasonable to expect somebody to proceed at the point they've just said they're going to go and get on a boat with a theodolite to navigate.
Why in the world would you even say that?
Well, you know why. Because
Idiot.
they don't want to mention the surface. Take a theodolite and have a vertical and automatically acquire a coangle. Now, what you do with that coangle, what it's relevant to, is really a baller won't want to discuss that.
Or
if you can pretend that you've not got a flat baseline, you've just got a vertical numbs the pain, doesn't it?
Yeah, but if you got the co-altitude, it's mirroring the surface, so you're still screwed.
Don't mention the 90.
Yeah, it's stupid. I'm glad I missed it. All right, what else? I ain't got any plans for the show.
I went over and busted all them guys in the Nathan's after show over there making fun of Omnivore because they need to be over here. Let me go back and fuss at them some more.
Who's that? The defender of liars?
No. The defender of the innocence, if you want to falsely accuse.
Oh boy.
Bearfelt's testimony, I think is what it's called. So you want to make accusations, really?
What's happening, Tony? Good to see you, sir. He's not in here. He's out in chat.
No worries on it.
So what's going on? Anything other than the Omnivore train wreck with the theodolite and the grandfather clock?
Well, the other guy came in. Hello? Hello? Nathan? And he totally lied about what an elevation angle is.
You do that voice so well. It's awesome.
You know how they leave out certain words, QE?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he did.
Hello? Hello? Oh, boy. All right. Well, today's... Good?
Oh, I was going to say he appealed to a negative elevation angle that's never measured, too. It was because it was in the citation where the elevation angle is detailed as a measurement. He was saying that there was a negative elevation angle that's never measured.
Oh, what, how would I
source.
measure that negative? Just explain to me, because I'm trying to figure that out.
You can't. You don't measure it. You calculate it based on the elevation angle. It's a silly thing to even assert as a measurement.
I can see my foreman now. Neil, what was the negative elevation for that? What was the negative measurement? I didn't give one.
Hmm.
We're gonna have problems.
Who was that? Elbow, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up with your mod? Amir Nod got banned from the after show and the live stream.
Those aren't my mods, dude.
Hey man, we told Nathan that.
Who is that? Is that Albert Rico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my
Adam
room.
Meekin was crying about. Yeah, I understand. Adam Meekin was crying because he was getting interrupted by while he interrupted. It's just funny.
I was okay. I was okay to handle it. It's when you've got somebody like that, it doesn't need any assistance. So I wasn't particularly bothered what your point was. It was just to say, just let me deal with the guy. Explain to him why. Some people may consider it rude, but explain to him why it's not reasonable for him to carry on past that point. Once he got past that point, he could have carried on, but there's no point in carrying on his explanation when we've got a major problem with him getting on his boat with a theodolite.
No, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
I still think you should get the gyro theodolite. Come on now. Given the gyro theodolite that can maintain a horizontal plane of oh, hold on. I see your point now. Never mind.
What about the grandfather clock? That is hilarious.
Nice. Nathan's here. Are they all coming over, Nathan, to carry this on? Is it Omnivore going to tell us the tale?
Nathan.
Yeah, I just got banned from your show, Nathan.
Nathan was saying instead of theodolite, we might use a grand piano.
Better fix that mic.
We're covering cults today, and one of the things that came up were
Or what?
a crazy title.
Say that all over again.
I heard that bit, Nathan. Very, very, very clever catch, sir.
Glad you heard it. I didn't.
Say it again, Nathan.
Oh, can you not hear me clearly?
Now we
You
can.
got a bit quiet.
QE was over talking.
Oh, it's because of QE. Yeah, of course it was. Yes.
No, I wasn't over talking you. You faded out on me there. Say that all over again.
Said in what we were covering today on the live show, it identified that cult leaders ascribed themselves grandiose titles.
That's amazing.
Like Grand Poobah.
Grand Poobah.
The emissary to the Aetherians.
Oh, hold on. That was a necessary title. And
Quantum
we were trying to infiltrate Professor Dave, the science communicator.
The science communicator. He can't communicate he couldn't communicate a Cracker Jack box.
But that's what he labeled himself as.
Oh boy.
The pertinent part was the fact that he took a title, which has to be earned, and it is applicable. Professor Dave. So as the leader of this science communication cult to ensure a fall, he takes a title which he isn't entitled to, i.e. Professor Dave, to give himself a more grandiose role as the head of this cult. That's the point I heard Nathan spotting.
Yes, that's what I was driving at with Professor Dave.
The scary thing is it sounded a bit like Globebusters and a lot like heliocentrism.
It seems to be science communicator seems to be the place to go for all these guys who don't know what natural science is. They all these people that don't know what natural science is want to go around being science communicators.
Yeah, it's like in Orwellian speak, right? What's the Department of Love responsible for, Brian?
Hate.
What do you think the Department of Science in an Orwellian world where Professor Lying Sod Dave is a science communicator? What do you think a science communicator is in reality?
Confuser. Creating confusion. Yeah.
What did dumb Dave say today? Stars spinning in opposite directions again? Friggin' moron.
Gravity the force.
Go down.
Here we go.
Gas go down, go boom boom.
Oh, really? The Thunderfight clown.
It's in the gravity equation.
Yeah. Things only go up until they run out of energy.
Oh, Phil Bell used to do that. I got him on numpty clips. We might do a couple of those today.
It was addressing a guy who called himself Lord Jamar. Kind of prompted me, along with this cult-like demonstration of people ascribing themselves titles that are a bit grandiose, to call myself King Nathi.
King Nat.
Refracted mentioned you, Quantum Eraser.
For what?
For your name, Quantum Eraser.
That's not my name. My name's John.
And Dave's name's not Professor Dave, that's just his YouTube channel name.
Yeah, but there's a
Right,
difference, isn't there? Pete, I don't think, right, when I hear the name Quantum Eraser, that John's going round erasing quantums. Yeah? But Professor Dave, yeah? Unfortunately, the implication there is why did he pick that title? For the very specific deceptive implication. So people think he's got the credentials of the subject he's going to talk about. Nobody looks at QE and think, oh, all he does all day is fire photons. You know what I mean? You can see one is a descriptor of to give you a character, and others is not that, is it? It's not to describe me like I'm a professor as I talk about stuff and pretend I've got authority. It is to deceive. It's a false title.
He's deceiver as a science communicator. And what about the Adam Meakin?
Right. So right. So again, the Adam Meakin, I am. It's only because Adam Meakin was gone in the Google stuff, right, by an Irish kid. So the options were loads of numbers after your name or the Adam Meakin back in the day. And I thought, well, I'll have that.
I don't know. Sounds a bit grandiose to me.
It's become grandiose, Neil, and that's the good thing. It was picked in innocence, but now, actually, if you want to invoke an ego, there is a bit of ego. I love it now. The Adam Meakin.
The Irish, right? They'll
He will
steal
always
anything.
be the Adam Meakin to me.
Yeah.
Even your name, they'll steal anything, won't they? The Irish bastards.
To be fair, he was from the north, Brian. So
well, you could have been either side then. Especially with a name like Meakin.
Yeah.
Well, so I should table my plans to start calling myself PhD Brian then. From the sounds of things. Until this whole cult leader thing blows over.
yeah, tell it. Yeah, just for a little bit. Then you can try and deceive people afterwards.
What say you, PhD Brian?
If one of us if I start calling myself PhD Brian, the ballers would have an absolute uproar. Wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Or Professor Brian.
They're so unreasonable, right? That one of the people that potentially would tell you off would be Professor Dave.
Yeah, Professor Dave would be one of the people telling me off.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Like Dr.
And when it
Eli.
came to the egregious double standards, they wouldn't not acknowledge it. They'd acknowledge it, but then say that it would be unreasonable for you to do it because you're a flirt. How dare you steal such valor as a flirt? Dave doing it, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, not a word about Dave. What was interesting was when he was up again, when he went to that university on the stage to debate Professor Thor. What was the man's name? The biologist. Can't remember his name now. But he was a professor. What's his name, Huey? Thor. The man he debated.
James Thor.
James Thor. He turned up as Dave Farina. Not Professor Dave. Dave Farina. Yeah.
That's very amusing double doctorate, Brian.
I remember watching about 2 minutes of that because I knew what it was going to be. Because Dave is a very, very stupid person. So I knew it was just going to be. It wasn't even ad homs. It was a complete nothing burger. I turned it off after a couple minutes.
I only caught bits of it.
Sorry, Adam.
I only caught bits of it. There was a point that Jamal's put something to him, and then all I heard before I had to disappear and serve again was Dave abused somebody else. I think he attacked Eric DeBay or something as a salient point. That I can't remember what Jamal had said, but it was a decent question. But and then went flat Earth's retarded, and these people are crook, bad people like Eric DeBay. It's very telling.
Yeah,
what these people will say, and what they can say nowadays. All they can do is ad hom and distract. It's a bit like this afternoon.
Now,
set up false.
It's not ad hom and distract. It is projectile diarrhea motor mouth. That's all they do on politics. That's all they do now. They did it before many years ago, but not to the extent now. They've all caught on to it, right? So they just projectile diarrhea motor mouth through their mic and keep talking. That's the game. That's all they do. That's all they got. I put a stopper on that crap in politics. Well, whenever I'm in there, though.
What I remember from Dave Farina being against Dr. James Thor, what I remember was in the first couple of minutes, James Tour went to the drawing board and said, right, you're claiming this, this, and this. Write in the thing here that connects that with that. Right? And it was the same point through the whole debate, if I remember correctly. They kept going back to the drawing board, went right in the thing that needs to be there that you're claiming. Right? Because if what you're claiming is true, then the implication of that is that you have something to place in here, in with whatever part of biology, genetics, DNA he was speaking of. And not once did Dave Farina even leave the podium to walk even near the board. So it was a whole hour and a half of Dave Farina arguing with the audience, doing anything but writing in the thing that needs to be written in that has to be part of reality for what he was claiming to have any validity at all. Not once did he write it in, because it doesn't exist. So for me, it was a carbon copy of what we deal with. Okay, then show us this part, and it never happens. The part that's never shown, we deal with that all the time. We probably have more versions of it than what Dr. James Tour has, but we have the same thing. They can never show you that part. The part that's never shown, they can never show you that. It's a claim of and an implication of the existence of it, but it's never shown to exist in reality. Never demonstrated.
I didn't understand a word of that, did you?
Well, I am a doctor, so you wouldn't understand.
You double doctorates, just speaking at a different level, really, aren't you?
That's what it is, yeah.
Oh, it's been fun flirting today. Where Kiwi's vanished to. He's just started the live stream and then seems to have disappeared as the host, but I'll continue in my host mode as I'm still in it.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Superchat if you haven't done it already.
Say again?
Oh, you'd vanished.
I didn't vanish. I'm still here.
It's good to know.
Thank you.
He's just invisible like the curvature.
I didn't want to interrupt Brian.
Thanks, Kiwi.
Welcome. I didn't go anywhere. Charging me with going somewhere, you friggin' absentee landlord.
Okay, sweetheart. It wasn't sweetheart, was it? It was sweetie.
Sweetie. Yeah, Dave Farina called Lord Jamar Sweetie in the middle of the debate.
Yeah, it reminds me of a line from Shawshank Redemption, but I don't think it's worth repeating on a family show.
I knew a guy who had behaviour like Professor Dave. He worked with this one of these, I think it was Torrey's PC or PC World, or one of those places there, these big outlets where they sell computers and printers, Macintoshes, whatever, right? Some years ago. Same kind of behaviour as Professor Dave, right? The same type of personality. And every time I go in there, he'd have a new black eye. And it wasn't because he was clumsy. Right? Somebody kept this guy at some time. He had a different black eye or a broken nose or something nearly every time me and my friend went in there to do something. Like, what's the chances? So, that's where the Dave Farina attitude gets you in life.
Yep, he'd be that guy. Those types of people, they thrive on the internet, though, don't they?
Yeah, that's the thing about it. On the internet, this guy would thrive because this guy would cause someone to lift a monitor up over their head and smash it on the ground because the person wants to choke them. But they can't do that on the internet because that person's safe. They're in some place, nobody knows where they are. They can sneak value. But out in reality, unfortunately, that type of I would not be surprised if Dave's personality, let's say, transports out into real world, and he ends up getting himself a few broken noses. Because those kind of people just can't turn it off. They can't stop being that guy,
a wanker.
Yeah, they just can't stop. This guy was just like him. The same smartass thing, trying to talk as if you didn't know about anything. You know what I mean? Waffling on just the usual. Exactly like the same type of personality as Dave Farina. And every time, and I go in there every few months, every time I went in there, he had new bruises on his face or a broken nose. Every time.
Yes, the internet's a good place for these people. In this regard, right, someone like Dave Farina is there to farm cope for people who despise us because they don't want to face the awful truth of the world they're living in being a massive lie. Their world isn't quite what they thought it was, and they have to face up to that internally. And to get away from that, it's easier to hate us vicariously through Dave Farina. So him being a wanker to us, like I say, people derive hope from that.
Yeah, because him treating Laura Jamar as he was and having that guy Laura Jamar get angry at him, that for people who are ballers is some kind of a win. When you're making a flat earther angry, you're frustrating them, you're stopping them getting their point across. Anything that stops the flat earther from getting their point across coherently to the audience is a win. So that's what they have. It's a whole stoppage system. You know, anything that stops the flow is what they want. So they just, you know, we're like a river flowing into the sea, and they keep on trying to throw rocks in to stop that river from getting to the sea. That's basically what it is, as an analogy.
Is that all we got today?
I got to round out already.
We're gonna.
We should have stayed over on Nathan's.
We should.
It was a solid 28 minutes. I mean, pretty fair.
It was pretty solid.
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed the parts with me in.
Yeah, I did too. Not so much.
And Dr. Brian.
Yeah, not so much for
I
Brian.
think with a bit of editing, they could be really good.
Where is the time stuff?
On the clock, Brian.
Oh,
Double doctorate Brian's logic, ladies and gentlemen.
double talk from Dr. Brian. You know, if I decided to do that, that would cause uproar. It would, though. It would cause quite an amount of uproar.
Question I've always asked myself is, how did you manage to get the double doctorate as a rear admiral? Where did you find the time?
As a rear admiral.
It was when he was stationed in Antarctica. He had loads of time.
Where'd you hide the guns?
Well, that's what he was doing. Once you've hid them, you've got nothing else to do, have you?
It was when I was studying and something.
If you were going to bullshit, Brian, that you got a double doctorate, what are the two doctorates you're going to choose?
Oh, easy ones. I'll choose easy ones. And I'll go with probably astrophysics and some other nonsense. Astrophysics and astronomy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want any kind of whiff of science in there, really.
You want it to be proper wank. You want it to be in psychology and textiles. Double doctorate.
How about PhD in bird breeding?
Oh, natural experiment bird humping.
Yeah, it's something that I'm not going to be challenged on. That's what I want. Because I can't put myself down as a biologist in case someone challenges me on it. I don't know nothing about it. I'm in trouble then. But something obscure, a couple of obscure things.
I know. And you'll have a bit of... How about the non-natural selection of dogs?
Well, let's go out the chat, see if they got anything out there.
What about PhD Flatsy? Does she have anything to say?
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah, Jane.
Susan's got a bachelor's.
Say what now?
PhD Flatsy.
Oh boy.
Just we should really clear this up, right? As farcical and as funny as this is, there's no need. Almost, if you're in our group, especially, you'll almost never hear anybody crediting themselves with anything. And there's plenty of people with very high levels of education in our group, but we're not leaning into our bullshit accreditation, or in the case of Dave Farina, the lack thereof. We're leaning into our argumentation. And in some instances, mine, Brian's, don't have necessarily any valuable accreditation to lean into anyway. But that doesn't mean to say the people around us don't. They just choose not to. Because, like us, fortunate for us, less fortunate for them if they wanted to lean into their degrees, there isn't a need to. And that empowers the audience, which is why I like doing it and why I'm highlighting it now. If you listen, we're not saying, because I'm a scientist, because I'm a professor, because I've got a double doctorate. We're saying because it's measured that way. Two are very different. We lean into one, our opponents lean into the other.
Yeah, they'll ask us what the education level is. I'm asked about you and Kiwi all the time.
Yeah, see, the thing about this is that if all you're going to lean into is your accreditation, your education, then you don't have an argument. If that's where you need to go to, it means you don't have an argument. Now, you could lean into that after you've made your argument and someone is not listening and you've made your point. Maybe you could say then, look, buddy, I do know what this stuff is. I'm literally a blah, blah. Right? You could maybe try that, but it depends on what you're saying before it. Because if you're talking about astrophysics, then it doesn't matter if you're saying you're an astrophysicist at that point, because astrophysics are a load of rubbish. They're all based within a paradigm that doesn't exist. So it doesn't matter you saying that. But if you were like a biologist, right, and whatever, let's say a chemist, make it easy, and you were pointing something at someone and someone was arguing with you, you go, no, this is this. And they go, how do you know? It's like, well, I am a chemist. Do you know what I mean? And this is this, and the reason is, if you can, it's okay. I think that kind of thing is only okay if you can absolutely prove your claims. If you're using it as some kind of a crutch of it, or weapon of intimidation or crutch to lean on, it's of no use whatsoever. And I don't think I think you're never better off doing like Adam and QE and never mentioning it unless it's absolutely necessary.
I just tell him,
John.
he was MIT graduate, Nathan graduated Oxford, and the Adam Meekin just barely made it out of high school. But what does that matter?
Yeah, Nathan got an A in Oxford. Go on, sorry.
I said that's technically true. I wouldn't use the only places I've used it really is tongue in cheek, particularly with people like the Rumpus that come in with this. Yeah, so I used to call him a lab. I'm at a university. We know he was washing Pyrex. Yeah, he's a lab tech, but this is what they would do. And I think, as you eloquently put, I would never use my credentials unless we were talking about pharmacy, formulation science, or pharmacokinetics. My credentials are kind of irrelevant. Yeah, what's relevant is the argument I present and the citation I give of the credentials of the people I'm citing. Unfortunately, Brian, yeah, that's why all of us can present an argument that's just as valid as the next. Be you a plumber or a pharmacist. It doesn't matter, does it? That's the one thing over here that we don't do. They try to intimidate with that. Yeah? Bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was called just a flooring guy.
The thing is, if you
doctorate.
do mix in an academic way, imagine a load of pharmacists getting together trying to present an argument, going, yeah, but I'm a pharmacist. Well, I'm a pharmacist. That doesn't work, does it? Everybody's a pharmacist, so present your argument. Let's look at the evidence. What's the best drug? Yeah, you get me?
Not just, I actually sincerely thought that's how it worked. Like you'd all be huddled around a table saying, "Trust me, bro." Pharmacist.
Whoever can say it the deepest and most sincere. No, I'm a pharmacist. Yeah?
It's whoever got the deepest voice when they say it, right?
Well, the only fair way to do it, isn't it?
Well, the thing is this. I do remember, Adam, some years ago, Rumpus coming in and trying to throw his education in people's faces, in Nate's face all the time. And you were there sitting there listening to this for, I don't know how long it was going on for. I'm talking about a couple of years. And I do remember one day you saying, okay, Rumpus, what is your education? Right? And he tried to lay it out. And you laid out yours. Yeah. And you showed how your education was higher than his. And you didn't lean on it because you didn't because to you, an education didn't create an argument. And you showed Rumpus up to be less educated than you, and he didn't know where to go because all he was leaning on was insults and appeals to his supposed education as an authority for most of the time. And when you did that, I mean, Rumpus just became a joke after that. I know it wasn't the last time he was on the show, but he became a joke because his whole thing was that I have this and I'm educated or I have whatever. And you knew what he was. You knew exactly what he did and what he didn't do.
But what they'll try and do, and what they'll do is like, well, you explain this then, you explain that, yeah? And they'll do that and to try and intimidate. I remember challenging him because he was on about, you don't know nothing, you don't even know calculus. So I said, well, go on then, give me a question to answer. And the stupid kid gave me a really easy one. Said, differentiate y equals x squared, which is quite simple. Even if it's 30 years ago you did it, you know what I mean? So I gave him the answer, which is do I by dx equals 2x. And his arse fell through. And I told him there and then, I own you from this day forward. Yeah, you can't say anything. You put a challenge, I own you. It's the only time I've kind of flexed. No, that's it. But that's where you flex. But that's actually, okay, I'll take a challenge on. If it matters to you, if you think the fact that I can answer a differential equation means that my arguments with regards to what gravity you're even talking about are relevant, I'll answer it to show you up. So challenge me. Because I do have the qualification. This is the other trouble we see. These guys don't. You put that to Professor Dave, he can't answer that because he's not got the basic training, yet he purports to have it. I don't even purport to have it, even though I've got it. Yeah, he's out there trying to say, listen to me, because look, I've got this thing that I haven't actually got. That's
why would you challenge you on math? That's crazy.
With Rumpus, it was good.
It's a bit like the hurler or the footballer on the sidelines, isn't it? You know, the sports fan on the sidelines. They actually, the person who does the job of being the athlete, they don't talk about it afterwards. But the person who's the supporter on the sidelines can't shut up about it because they've never actually done it. You know what I mean? They're not the real deal, but they want to talk about it all the time as if they know everything about it. Whereas the person who's actually done it doesn't talk about it. It's like when a fisherman goes home in the evening time, he doesn't go in and start talking about fishing. He's had enough of it. It's done. Do you know what I mean? But I think when people don't do something, and they always wanted to do it, but they never went through the process of doing it, and they probably never will, they just want to talk about it, as if they're an authority on it, or as if they know about it. You know what I mean? Whereas when someone does do something, they don't feel the need to talk about it. It's done. There's nothing to talk about. You've done it, kind of thing. You know what it is. And so anyone that leans on their education, like these people who throw PhD before their name in this arena, as if it means anything. Professor Phil, as if that means anything. Do you know what I mean? It means nothing. Not to me. It never meant that to me. I don't care what your education is. It means nothing because, as you said, Adam, if your education is in biology, we're talking about geometry, then you're on a level playing field with someone else.
I always take it the other way. When I see that, I see lamb chops. I'm just waiting for those credentials. That's what I want. That's my kind of party. It's always
You don't
been.
leave ready for your wolf pups.
Yeah.
It does reveal a weak hand, though, in my opinion, when you immediately find they're leaning into, well, I have this education. It's like you say, if you a biologist, what does that have in terms of your understanding when it comes to the geometry of Earth's surface? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with it. We're on a completely level playing field in that regard. But you're leaning into it straight away. Your degree, your biology degree, if it was Adam doing it right, well, that's do 7 offsuit, as QE puts it. You know straight away they've got a crap hand.
Remember Pete and Peter?
Good.
Yes.
We were talking about Stooges before. They're another good example where it was early on. They didn't know I was a pharmacist, and they ended up coming on to Iron Realm, and it was all very lovely because they were out there telling the community these things, doing these experiments and stuff, and just chatting shit, basically, to the point that that Josh got them on, and then I joined late, and it's when I joined, and they probably saw their arse and were strangely, and then found a way to make an argument and get out of there. Again, you see, it reminds me of the early bullshitters, Nathan. I ended up, right, to prove that these guys were bullshitting, I ended up buying a voltage output machine so that I could do electrolysis online, and collect hydrogen gas and then burn it. And QE might have been watching me back then. It was about the times I'd be talking about stereoisomers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But pointing out real stuff, actually attacking flat earthers, coming out chatting shit, even back then.
Proper experiments, right?
Oh yeah, there was a cause and an effect. Yeah. If I apply a voltage, then
that's only natural.
Well, it is. Formation of hydrogen.
Yes, I'm just being facetious.
What was the observed natural phenomena?
Shush.
That's what I thought. Do we want to hear from Rumpy again?
No, I kind of miss him.
It's been a while, huh? I just so happen to have I have some Numpty clips with him on there. How about that?
Oh, brilliant.
Let's have one.
Let's have one.
Beyond
Nathan, would you let him back?
No, would not. He's a lying, like the guy today, Hayuku's lurking around in this chat. Once you've established that they're just liars, what's the point dealing with them? They're never going to benefit the audience, are they?
It's not for the audience, this. It was just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah.
Just for one last laugh at Rumpus.
Yeah.
I say, we own him, mate. There's a reason he's disappeared, and he's not tried, and he's not over here doing it. It's because we own him, Every tactic he tried for 6 or 7 years, to the point that we demonstrated to the audience that he was just a duplicitous liar, All he would do is come back and have to behave. He couldn't recognise anything. He still wouldn't have his presentation on the Isle of Man ready, would he?
Almost ready.
Almost.
All right, let's
99%.
I haven't heard
99.9% ready, isn't it already?
I haven't listened to this in such a long time. I can't remember what's on it. It's one of those ones I just haven't got around to following up with. So we'll go with, I have a few of them, but we'll go with this one because it's his greatest hits. That's how I titled it. So see here, get everything lined up. This is the Rumpy, the glue sniffing numpty greatest hits. All right.
We're going to have to pause. This is 20 minutes. When some of the classics come out, you're going to have to pause.
Yeah,
surely.
just holler at me and I'll pause it.
If only for nothing else, so that this is the greatest hits. So this is like, now that's what I call Rumpus 2017 to 2020, I assume. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's going to be context needed.
All right, let me adjust my volume so I can hear it. Well, we'll have to play that by ear. You guys should be good. If not, just holler.
Einstein's field equations cannot solve
Too quiet.
more than one mass.
Too quiet.
Yeah. Crank it all the way up.
All right, make sure you guys are cranked up in there. Let's go back. No, back that way.
Cannot solve.
How about that?
Bit better.
It's cranked all the way up. Oh, I keep doing that, some bitch.
Einstein's field equations cannot solve for more than one mass.
Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an equation, but they...
So you can't solve this little problem that Brian's presented.
Pause.
Yeah.
No. You can't solve them numerically, but he is the master. You've got to give it him. Brilliant.
That was really...
No, yes, no. Brilliant.
That was really, really stupid. Rumpus.
You with Einstein's field equations then. You cannot do it then. That would make you a liar.
You can solve it numerically. You can
solve it numerically after he just said you can't solve it numerically.
can solve it numerically. Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, just double speak.
equation. You can solve it numerically. Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an equation.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present Beavis and Butthead.
But that's what it gives you. That's what the GPS gives you. It gives you your elevation with respect to this, not the center of the Earth, which some people say.
Some people. Some jerk put commercials in here. You mean like you?
Because the definition of elevation on a globe model is the distance from the center of the Earth.
And George.
Elevations are all the same distance from the center of the Earth.
Yes, he then tries to make a point that some people have said that elevation is relative to the center of the Earth.
Yeah, you.
Because the definition of elevation on a globe model is the distance from the center of the Earth.
And George.
Elevations are all the same distance from the center of the Earth.
It's all relative to this geoid, which does include the bulge, and that's what we mean by elevation. It's not relative to the center of the Earth. When we talk about elevation, it's relative to the ellipsoid.
Because the definition of elevation on a globe model is the distance from the center of the Earth.
Elevations are all the same distance from the center of the Earth.
It's all relative to this geoid, which does include the bulge, and that's what we mean by elevation. It's not relative to the center of the Earth. When we talk about elevation, it's relative to the ellipsoid.
Because the definition of elevation on a globe model is the distance from the center of the Earth.
And that's what we mean by elevation. It's not relative to the center of the Earth.
Rumpy, poster child of Baltar double-speaking numpties.
No one claims the geometric horizon is where the apparent horizon is when...
Sorry, we've only got one horizon. We don't have two horizons. We don't have an apparent horizon and a geometric horizon. We just have a horizon. It's just not geometric!
Correct.
Go on, all cars. Go on, all cars. We have...
Numpty dipshit.
All cars, please assist. All cars, please assist.
So
like the way he says
geometric
correct,
horizon on a globe. What's that?
Did you like the way Nathan? This is what they do. You see, that's it. Perfect. It's not. We do have an horizon. It's just not geometric. Correct.
Super dumpy.
Dave Rudge sent, maybe he should be renamed Pumpus the neighbor's cat.
All right, you got me off guard with that one. All right, fair enough.
That's actually a good one.
And sorry for not sharing the video with you guys out there. I think I didn't, but here we go. It doesn't matter anyway. You're just seeing the Terminator walk. But thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Nicely done. Oh, Earth. I'm sorry, Adam. Did you want to comment more on that?
Not only just that, what I said, you know, it's classic, and this is what we're still subjected to. You hear it in Discord. I'd say the Rumpus is probably at least respectful to pretend that he's recognised the point you've made. Yeah, and what he'll do is go, exactly, agreeing with what the salient point that Nathan put. Yep. He agrees with it, and then he'll go then on to describe and contradict it. Yep. He does at least pretend he's listening, Rumpus, if you get it. And unlike loads of you rude ballers in Discord, up your game. Here's your standard. If you're going to piss in our face, at least do it politely. Huh?
Grumpy? Welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks are in the back, bathrooms on the left, DJs spinning requests. Smoke them if you got them. You're too stupid to realize you just torpedoed the entire fairy tale religion. That's a lie.
You are so dumb.
Can't copyright yourself, surely.
Or Fudd, Mr. Magoo, and Baby Huey are doubled over in the corner on the precipice of a tear-jerking belly laugher coma. Folks, this is tantamount to a Marxist denying that the abolition of private property was ever a tenet of communism, and the Roman Catholic Church saying, marry who? You abject clown of epic proportions. From the U.S. Department of Defense, Horizon. In general, the apparent or visible junction of the earth and sky, as seen from any specific position, also called the apparent, visible, or local horizon. So what exactly is the apparent local horizon that's visible? From the subject matter experts, National Geographic. The local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the earth and sky. Oh, by the way, as we just heard, the geometric horizon is apparent.
Check out. I miss those days when chocolate was selling horizons. You know what I mean? Like Nathan tries to do today with microphones. He was pimping horizons like a daddy, weren't he?
Yes, he was. He was selling them at the back of his truck.
Yep.
As long as he's not on my corner, because I was holding my corner down. But sales have been slow, so now I got him 3 for $5 instead of 2 for $5.
Mute.
That's an oldie right there, boy.
Meow, 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 meow.
Chocolate loses it immediately.
That was my fault because he kept saying mute, and then I came on and said meow, 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 meow.
And then I went and got that led me to the obvious commercial. Here we go. All right.
Mute.
Yeah, well then, welcome to Flat Earth. Your model of a sphere Earth requires a geometric horizon to obscure things in the distance, for boats to go over, and to bend at altitude. If you are now disclaiming that we do not have a geometric horizon, then we don't have Earth curve geometry.
I told you 2.5 years ago how this worked. You didn't.
I'm going to go with that we do, and also that we don't have a geometric horizon as his long-winded answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll miss it.
Remember,
You've just made it plain we don't have a geometric horizon. So what geometric position, moron? You don't have one!
We do, we do. We do.
Oh, so now we do. Only 30 seconds ago, ladies and gentlemen, he made it plain we don't have a geometric horizon, and now we do, we do.
No, we don't have a geometric horizon.
Yeah, I kind of missed that.
The fact that this flip-flopping retard Rumpus has gone from it being geometric as a necessity, as per your model, to us not having a geometric horizon, and we never have, to now it being geometric again. If you can't recognise his flip-flopping and orthodox, it's because you're as retarded as him.
So we don't have a geometric horizon, then we do, and now we don't have a geometric horizon, right? When are you running for office of retardia?
It's a function of geometry.
No, it's not, because we don't have a geometric horizon. So the horizon is absolutely not a function of geometry. It's not geometric. We've debunked that with this image called the Black Swan, where we demonstrate that if it was physical and geometric, it would be in an impossible location based on the parameters of your own geometry. So we definitely don't have a geometric horizon.
I didn't say we did.
Are you serious?
Good.
It's the quality. You see what I mean? Seriously, ball trolls. Listen to the quality. Listen to the sincerity when he responds. He's not over talking. Yeah? He's doing it, and he's just doing a real good quality job of pissing in our face with a smile. And I miss that because there was a level of effort that he went in. He held himself for a while. You lot just over talk.
That quality piss, that.
Yeah. I like the mute bit.
Yeah.
That shows you how long, ladies and gentlemen, they've been doing this to Nathan. So when there's a point, yeah, or when they're talking crap and you interrupt them, mute. Started a long time ago. It was one of their power plays early on. We got very wise to very quickly. That's why it's very boring now when you try it.
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Oh, so now we do.
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Only 30 seconds ago, ladies and gentlemen, he made it plain we don't have a geometric horizon, and now we do. We don't. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Do you realize how many times you've destroyed your own argument today?
So what geometric position, moron? You don't have one!
We do.
Oh, so now we do.
Correct, we don't have a geometric horizon.
Listen to that quality. Just give that a J. The way it just rolls off with confidence, authority, and as if it makes sense.
Moron, you don't have one!
We do.
Oh, so now we do.
Correct, we don't have a geometric horizon.
Correct, he agrees with it. It's brilliant. Bring back the rumpus, Nathan.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Oh, fair enough. I don't love him that much.
So what geometric position, moron? You don't have one!
We do.
Oh, so now we do.
Correct, we don't have a geometric horizon.
Correct, we don't.
There was a fairly heated discussion at the end of Flat Earth debate where we were talking about, or John specifically, refracted curvature, was talking about bearing false witness. People who are labelled as liars when they aren't necessarily liars, right? Well, at the point that Rumpus is identified in this, now this is the example, right, as a liar, a disingenuous scrote that is useless to the audience. If I continue to entertain him, I am doing my audience a disservice. So by proxy, I'm like bearing false witness. I'm by association, that liar. I know he's going to lie to my audience, and I'm allowing it if I continue to allow that to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like with Mick West when you catch him saying, yeah, geometric horizon, or whatever it is you're catching them out on is great in the moment. From that point, you're like, no, this person's now proven disingenuous scrote. Why would I ever want to interact with that person ever again?
Because it was fun.
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
I don't know. I don't view it in that way.
I understand your point, but I can sit back a couple people removed from it and say, you know what? I kind of miss him. I'm just saying, I do. I don't know why.
I do too. Of all of them, he's literally the only one that I could say I slightly do miss when he comes on.
Yeah.
Because we knew.
Miss your abuser. I get it.
Yeah.
There was a point, though, wasn't there? It's a bit like with Alan B. You realised that they weren't genuine, and that their interaction was actually positive. Yeah. Well, as soon as I knew I had Rumpus, yeah, and I could see what he was and what I was behaving, he was happy. Alan B was easier earlier on. You could tell he was a troll. He was obvious, yeah, and he was there to distract. It was very odd they threw that card that early. I do.
But he was a little more fun to talk to than the average Glober, right? The ones that come on now, let's say.
He was better informed, and at least
Let's have a
presented.
Rumpus Day. Let's have it one day for Rumpus.
Yeah, let's have a Rumpus Day and everyone Rumpus friggin' Adam.
Sorry, Adam.
No, that was how I was going to conclude, actually, Neil. A charity gala where the Rumpus is invited. You know, for one night only, I agree with Nathan in a way. He would get very tedious, but like I say, just for nostalgia's sake, I'd love to hear his voice again. Because, you know, for all his dickheadedness, yeah, and he's in that. It is geometric. It isn't. Well, that's what set us off. That's where we are today. Yeah?
I can't believe my freaking ears. I'm surrounded by sadists.
He would say it in the next sentence like it was no problem.
Yes, within the same breath, he'd contradict himself over and over and over and over again, and it wouldn't stop him. He just wouldn't stop. It just keep going.
He wouldn't care. He didn't. And I like that. They still do that. But I said there was a way he did it that was at least a higher standard than the ballers we encounter now. All they've got is just over talking. Just politely agree and then go on to contradict. Like the Rumpus has taught you.
Mute.
That's another appeal to format fallacy, isn't it now? So I gave him another opportunity to discuss his logical fallacy and his incorrect assertion that the citation says that the horizon's being loomed with respect to the horizon, which makes absolutely no sense. Andrew Young does not say that. He's not stupid like you, man. But you can appeal to format again when I give you an opportunity to speak, that it's the mute button that's the defence to this argument, which it isn't. That's a fallacy.
Mute.
Yes, third time in a row. Appeal to format. Yeah, I'm muting you so you don't get to talk through the devastating argument, as you normally do. We all know that. You claiming appeal to format is just going to appeal to the retards like yourself. You go, yeah, he muted him. Yet you could hear him, audience. Every time you heard him was an opportunity for him to address the fact he claimed looming explains the horizon looming. When Andrew Young, his citation, does not say that. He doesn't say the horizon's moving with respect to the horizon. That's nonsense. Let's see if he appeals to the format again when I give him a chance to address that.
Mute. Andrew.
Yeah. Mute. That's appeal to format fallacy. You're not addressing my argument. You're addressing the fact that when I speak, I don't want you interrupting, so I have to mute you. You don't give me any alternative.
Mute. You see, you've had lots of sentences, Nathan, and I've only had none.
I run the show. Mute.
That was actually good, Rumpus. Lots of sentences. I've only had none. That was actually good.
Chocolate. How long ago is mute? It's well before COVID, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's probably 12 months before. It's probably 2019.
It's around the Black Swan time.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before,
Yeah,
maybe
it's-
around that.
Yep. That was really good. I gotta do it again.
So we gonna vote on a Rumpus Day?
Yes. After we're done here, yes.
You see, you've had lots of sentences, Nathan, and I've only had none.
I run the show. Mute.
I did it when Nathan said it too.
Mute is an appeal to format fallacy. You're never going to address your fallacious use of reasoning when addressing your incorrect citation from Andrew Young.
Jerk.
You flurf. You greedy flurf. Awana.
Why are
So
they
we have
ads?
Mr. Air is not the atmosphere, and the
He's a
second law
greedy
doesn't-
flurf.
Shut up! I'm playing a video.
Reasoning when addressing your incorrect citation from Andrew Young.
So we have Mr. Air is not the atmosphere, and the second law doesn't apply to the Earth. 17 March 2020, performing his best impression of George Musser.
You understand they don't exist.
He's trying to. The horizontal
understand they don't
ray
exist?
paradox he's talking about is in fact quite difficult
But you
conceptually to cope
understand
with.
that
And
they
obviously,
don't exist.
you being stupid, obviously will have no
No, they
chance.
don't
So he's
exist.
trying to
Hold on,
simplify it for
Kiwi.
people like you
Kiwi,
who
hold
don't
on.
understand how light rays work. The point is, ray tracing is used all the time in games and in simulations, and it works. The fact that it uses the word ray is different from the situation that Andrew Young is talking about.
We
But
don't
I'm not
live in a fucking
you're
game.
too stupid to understand the difference.
We don't live in a
It's the
game.
only way
We
to
don't live in a game.
replicate realistic visuals.
Sorry, I just want to Rumpus. Do you understand that they're not real? Rays.
Well, they can be treated.
Oh, you prick.
I remember that this is the one where QE and Nathan start laughing for like 5 minutes straight. Like it's literally, they start dying.
I've got to just give some credit, right? So as I'm hearing these play out, in my mind, I remember where I got these gotchas from. They're all from QE. So the Ray thing, me knowing to ask about whether or not they're real, is directly from QE. Because that makes me seem smart, doesn't it? That question perfectly timed. No, that's all down to QE, really. Yeah, I timed it. I got the question in. But knowing to ask the question, I didn't know till QE told me.
Yeah, but that's okay. You had the question, and everyone heard it clearly. Everything calmed down. It was perfect. Let's do it again.
What's going to destroy him here? Just to stay on topic from the bits I chipped in on Nathan's show. What destroys him here and what empowers Nathan is the citation from Andrew Thomas Young.
Yep.
Citations are useful to support your argument. It's crucial. At this point now, he's got to deny a subject matter expert, which is why the Rumpus can't. This was the good thing about the Rumpus, wasn't it? If you put that to him, he won't do what these guys do, or just ignore the subject matter expert. No, he would deal with it, even to the point he pissed spoilers off at times.
Sorry, I just want to Rumpus. Do you understand that they're not real? Rays.
Well, they can be treated as real. You don't understand that. You have no understanding of physics or science. You're not qualified to even ask me.
Right, pause. So, again, context. Why is everybody pissing themselves laughing?
Because he pulled a Georgie Mooser?
In it?
Yep. He literally just said, rays aren't real, but you could think of them as though they're real.
He also used a pragmatic fallacy earlier.
Oh, they all do that. That's minor. They pulled a Georgie Mooser, and as soon as he said that, everyone caught it. I lost it immediately, and so did Nathan. It was hilarious. Let's let it go.
Just as a higher perspective. Sorry.
Go on, bro.
I'm just saying, as a higher perspective, why he even wants to talk about light rays is because he wants to bend the ray What he's actually wanting to talk about there is 7 over and greater than 7 over 6R. And that's what he's actually trying to do there.
Sure.
Because the ray is actually the surface of his light sphere that he will make from the R value. You know what I mean? Based off of a distance. So when you give, what they need initially is a distance. So you say, I saw the horizon appearing to be whatever distance away. It was near this island or this place, and as a demarcation point. And that means, like, we could say that it appeared to be, 7 miles away, whatever. They'll take that 7 miles and they'll make a bigger globe out of it. With the bending of light.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
I'd say it's just the bending of a light ray. That's what they'll try and put it off.
Don't miss it. It's just take it on its surface, dude. And we don't have a deep philosophical discussion on light rays and why they need it. Just that he said that we can treat it as if they're real.
I know, yeah. Because he can pretend he's on a bigger ball. Go on, lad.
But that's the win. That's the point I was trying to make. That's why people just fell about laughing, because you've just handed us the win when you say that. I don't need to explain anymore. You've just explained that you just believe it's a ball because of computer games. I mean, that in itself, we see with the Rumpus, is a lie. Yeah, that they don't. Rays in a computer game are straight, aren't they? Fortnite. Have a good look at what they build. They don't do it like that. But he tries to give a load of bollocks after. Well, just subterfuge, isn't it, with him? But you've already won. And this is the trouble with the Rumpus. He will give you the answer if you listened to him. He was strangely honest, the Rumpus, wasn't he, in terms of how he would
didn't deny
retort.
it. He didn't deny it. He just said, no, you could treat him as they're real.
It's brilliant.
You have various ideas on this, but generally it's thought that Newton did not take his own law that literally, that there is a force reaching from one object out to another. However, you can act as if there were one.
Paul. You put that together at that time. So
yeah, I did. Yes.
Isn't that spooky?
That's pretty spooky. Let's do that again. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Let's pull a couple J's. We'll go back a couple J's because that's Georgie friggin' Mooser. So we'll pull a couple J's and put them together.
Realistic visual.
Sorry, I just want to Rumpus. Do you understand that they're not real? Rays.
Well, they can be treated as real. You don't understand that. You have no understanding of physics or science. You're not qualified to even ask me that question.
Newton had various ideas on this, but generally it's thought that Newton did not take his own law that literally, that there is a force reaching from one object out to another. However, you can act as if there were one.
I stuck that in there. That's George Mooser from Scientific American discussing Newton's universal law of gravity and saying, nah, he didn't really take that shit seriously, but you can treat him as it. Right? So I stuck it in there.
Yeah. Pause a second.
Okay.
What he's referencing there, for people who don't know, is that Newton, in his original Principia, didn't actually state that gravity was a force.
Mm-hmm.
When he used the term force, which is vis in Latin, he was only speaking about his laws of motion, not about gravity. He described gravity as a centripetal force, which is not a force. It's a pseudo-force. He also went on to describe centripetal force as if through magnetism, which is okay, right? But you have to take a couple of steps to get to the point of trying to claim that he claimed that gravity was this force. He didn't do that.
Thanks.
So that's what George Mooser, from his educated position, is referring to, but not stating.
Yeah, and how did he know that Newton didn't take his stuff? Well, Newton never really took his stuff seriously. What? How does he know that? What are you talking about, Georgie?
Yeah.
Let's hear that again.
Literally, that there is a
another fiver
on this, but generally
another fiver. He's long-winded.
Ask me that question.
Newton had various ideas on this, but generally it's thought that Newton did not take his own law that literally.
Generally, it is thought that Newton didn't take his. Did he say theory? Never. He never had a theory in his life. Mooser, idiot. Hear that again.
You're not qualified to even ask me that question.
Newton had various ideas on this, but generally it's thought that Newton did not take his own law that literally.
Oh, he didn't take his law that literally. Generally, it is thought that Newton didn't take his law that literally. What?
What, the law that he didn't write?
Yeah, that one.
Isn't that strange? Isn't that a strange thing to say? I'm just catching this now. That's really weird that George would say that.
Well, why? No, it's not.
Huh?
Remember what's happened here? What's happened is, fight the flat Earth, yeah? Having had many a battle with Riley and stuff about whether gravity is a force, it is a force, it's not, yeah? The ballers have gone to some academic, and they've got the Fight the Flat Earth interview with George Musa, respected physicist, I think, editor.
No.
I didn't say respected by you.
No. Yeah, but he's part of it. Yeah, he was the editor of Scientific American. So he's definitely a PhD. I can't remember. I forgot what it is. I think it's in astronomy, if I'm not mistaken.
So the point being, they've conjured this scenario where we've got this subject matter expert, as we say, and we've got Fight the Flat Earth, and he's going for a soundbite that gravity is a force.
Right.
And he never I'm going to dig out my song that I wrote on this, yeah? But he never gets it.
Yeah.
This is where Fight the Flat Earth gave me a copyright strike.
Yep.
Yeah. And then backed down when I challenged it.
Yep.
Yeah. For this point, it was total humiliation for him because he went to get this statement, and the best he got was you can think of it as force, but it's not. Yeah. That's and this is where the Rumpus is. They won't lie academically. Rumpus was like that, and George is there on the spot. And even Brian Cox, none of them at this level will do it because it undermines their PhDs. It undermines their understanding. They've been taught to say, no, it's not a force now. Yeah? So when...
Well, we don't really need to work at the really is level, Adam. Did you forget?
And there's the mitigations, and he tries to help this guy. That's why... What Rumpus says there is so pertinent and relevant to why, even now, I linked it back to George, and back then QE's linked it to George. Yeah, we don't have to believe in a ball. Yeah, to stay on a globe, we don't have to work at the really is level. We can have rays bending, and we can imagine it as a force. Yeah, that's the synergy, and that's the point where you know you've won. So to stay on the ball and to prove your point, I've got to imagine it.
Yep, too funny.
What I would say on QE's point there, what you're saying, QE, is that it's strange to be saying that.
Yep.
Why was it that Einstein was so easily able to convert everyone straight over to him? Because basically overnight, they all went, yeah, that's right, yeah, no more Newton. Right? Why did they do that?
No,
surely
it wasn't. Nope. It wasn't like that. There was a lot. There was many. This was a big brouhaha back there with general theory relativity. It wasn't overnight. No.
Oh, I was under the impression it was overnight.
No, hell no.
Yeah. Okay. But the point being is, what was the factor that caused them to change? Was it possibly that they read into what?
Generations.
I'm not being flippant
but was
there.
it possibly, just let me finish it, Adam. Was it possible that they read into what Newton actually wrote and they went, he's not even standing by it himself? How do we claim about it?
It's hard.
I mean?
It's
was
hard.
It possible?
It's difficult to say what the collective did. All I know is there was he had some serious blowback. That is Einstein with the general theory of relativity. So who knows what the collective, why it changed? Who knows? No one knows. Would just be speculating.
Well, besides all that, what I would say about gravity is that it's the eternal begging the question fallacy. Because what is it? what is gravity? Oh, it's this thing now. It was something else before. It'll be something else in the future.
Yeah.
The point is that it's a nothing. It's like Easter. Same thing.
Yeah.
What is it?
It is.
So you have to make the question to even speak about it.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. 100%.
No idea. Next question.
But it's always.
What? Hold on, Chocolate. Go ahead, Chocolate.
Oh, you have no idea. Next question.
I got you. Nicely done. Go ahead, John.
Well, isn't it always the explanation of how you live on a ball spinning through a sky vacuum?
What?
Gravity, no matter what form it takes or what mathematics they use, it's always used as an attempt to explain how you live on a ball.
Yeah, clumsily so. Yes.
In this case, though, to bring us back on track, the only pertinent point with regards to it is a subject matter expert is saying it's not a force.
Yep. True.
There is a force reaching from one object out to another. However, you can act as if there were one.
What do you think? Do you deny that there are? So you when you talk about a ray of light, laser light, then Nathan, are you denying they exist?
Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force.
Do you, but Nathan, do you not believe it?
Chocolate always gets it.
The laughing that y'all are doing is just exaggerated so much. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's well worth it.
Real or not.
However, you can act as if there were one.
Nathan's crying.
Just rolling, isn't he?
Too funny.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth. Never forget that one.
While we have you on record saying that, it's just.
Where have you got me on record saying that entropy doesn't apply to the Earth? I'd never say such a thing. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Where do you have me saying that? Right there.
You are so dumb. Damn.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
Did everyone catch that? Did everyone catch that? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Also dumb. Damn.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
Brilliant.
One more time.
Oh yeah.
Also dumb. Damn.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
Wow.
It's very simple.
I was shocked when I heard this. I was listening to Jose JG Retard Show live at the time. You're going to see this in a second. I couldn't believe what I heard. So let's see what happens. Let me pull a J. Here we go. I'll let it go.
You are so
Before
dumb.
you go,
Damn.
Good.
Is that an early T jump?
Yes.
It's a total, isn't it?
Yep.
Totally T jump. Oh.
Yep. He T jumped us. Yeah. I caught him though.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
What the hell did you just say?
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
You serious?
Let me get this straight. My tire is rotating, but my bumper with respect to the tire isn't rotating very much. Therefore, my bumper is rotating with the tire. Hey? Is that what you're going for here? Mr. Magoo, Baby Huey, and Elmer Fudd are doubled over in the corner, dying from tear-jerking belly laugher syndrome. This gets exponential magnitudes worse for these abject morons. You see, folks, I was listening to the Jose JG Retard show live and heard Rumpy the Numpty say that cockamamie horsepucky. So I quickly wrote it up and sent it to Jose JG Retard within about 45 seconds while they were still live. Jose Retard then reads it back to Rumpy as if I made the comment and asked Rumpy what he thinks. Priceless.
This is from John Stonja, aka Quantum Eraser. And I quote, "The Rumpus. We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is non-rotating very much with the respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple." You agree with that comment, or what do you think about it?
I sure hope he agrees. He stated it word for word less than 2 minutes ago.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple. Sorry, I got distracted by another comment. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Quantum Eraser says, "We know the world is rotating, and we know that the atmosphere is non-rotating very much with the respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth." It's very simple.
But it's contradicting.
It's a contradiction. Yeah, that's right. Alert! Newsflash! You said it, Rumpus! You dumbass cracker!
I think he realized he said it. That's why he stopped.
God.
You know what they...
What?
The court of the exchequer in medieval times would hold a proxy court where they would have charges brought against the king, but since the king couldn't be charged under law, they had the court of the exchequer create a proxy that did the same crime that the king committed, and the king would pass down his judgment upon them based on the evidence, and he would be held account for his own. That's what the purpose of it was. I think you just did one of those on him.
I just gave it to Jose JG Retard. Jose JG Retard puts it across to him the second time as if I said it, but I didn't say it. It's what Rumpus said. And then Rumpus heard it and said, "That's a contradiction." You can't make this up, folks. You just can't. Hilarious. My word.
We know the world is rotating, and we know the atmosphere is not rotating very much with respect to the Earth. Therefore, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. It's very simple.
Calling all cars, calling all cars. We have
Numpty dipshit.
all cars, please assist. All cars, please assist.
Listen, here's some advice. You need to return to your true vocation, picking up cans alongside of the road. Supervised.
You are so dumb. Damn.
I'm the person telling you how reality is, and I'm always right. Entropy is not entropy. Just
good.
Oh, Nathan's there. The same thing happened today. Yeah, people bust in today when some idiot said, "I'm going to do celestial navigation. I'm going to take a theodolite because it's more accurate." And 2 or 3 of us burst in at that point. The same shit's happening today. But the same tactics are being held to us. It's very interesting. Nothing changes, does it? Press play.
He walked away from his computer.
Shut the hell up.
Ramble.
entropy is not entropy just simply tells you how disordered something is.
Oh. Right, pause then.
No, it doesn't.
See, earlier, I was going to say, when he did the double speak with entropy and second law not applying to Earth, I was going to indict him that he knows that they're not different things. Yeah? But he's now maybe demonstrating a lack of knowledge here. This is odd. Can I get a J?
Yeah, I already gave you one.
Thank you.
Entropy is not entropy just simply tells you how disordered something is.
Fatality.
Good.
I don't know. I don't know. Now that's out of date.
Yeah, we're gonna find out here in a second.
Something is.
But the way you, I got more good.
I'm gonna go for the J, and then we'll do it again. Here we go.
Entropy is not entropy just simply tells you how disordered something is.
Fatality.
No, it doesn't. You treat objects like women. From the legend, Professor Lambert, entropysite.oxy.edu. This view was broached partially in a previous article that showed disorder was outmoded and misleading as a descriptor for entropy. Footnotes 1 and 2. Again, from Professor Lambert, entropy is not disorder, not a measure of disorder, not a driving force. From Chem Libre text, there is no basis in physical science for interpreting entropy change as involving order and disorder. Steve, did you like that?
I love the tunes. I love the bits you put in. I do miss Numpty Clips.
I missed enough. I told you, every now and again, I'll just go, I'm feeling a little down, not my day. I'll go into these numpty clips, man, just on my own. They're freaking hilarious. Most of them I don't, the big ones I don't listen to, right? Because there's like 98 of them. But I do my best to go through. This one I haven't heard probably since I did it. So. Repeating entropy talks about disorder is akin to Max Planck describing the ultraviolet catastrophe as stop, drop, and roll.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
The horizon is not horizontal. The horizon
That's a billboard.
Forgot about that one.
Come on, Nathan. You gotta have a rumpus day.
Ruhif takes that rhetoric as well.
He's a lot like Grumpy.
The horizon is not horizontal.
Yeah, he tried to argue that, and I was like, so when you hold a plumb bob up against the horizon, does it make a 90? And he's told me no.
Wow.
The horizon is not horizontal. The horizon is not nothing to do with horizontal.
You got Left Lane idiot in the background saying, "That's right. That's right. Hi, Left Lane, you goober of a clown." Listen to him. I picked him out quickly. I know his friggin' retard voice.
The horizon is not horizontal. The horizon is not.
That's right. That's right, huh? You goober clown.
Nothing to do with horizontal.
You can find Left Lane. He's over on the Land of Misfit Toy server. That's where he plies his wares. Goober retard.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
From mathopenreference.com. In geometry, a horizontal line is one which runs from left to right across the page. It comes from the word horizon, in the sense that horizontal lines are parallel to the horizon. The horizon is horizontal.
You are so dumb. Damn.
Normal was right. To prove something, you have to be able to logically do that by deductive reasoning.
Rumpus, you want to start over?
Listen, let me finish. You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive.
Fatality. Induction has nothing whatsoever to do with natural science, you delusional putz. From the King Cheese philosopher of science, Karl Popper, 1963, Conjectures and Refutations, via Wiki. As mentioned in the section, The Problem of Induction, Popper's response to the problem of induction is simply that induction is actually never used in science. Uh-oh! Back to Karl Popper, Conjectures and Refutations via Wiki. Karl Popper, a philosopher of science, sought to solve the problem of induction. He argued that science does not use induction, and induction is in fact a myth.
Uh-oh!
Pause. This is where us again say we need to go back to that one. Do you remember that years ago was doing the induction abduction?
Mm-hmm.
See, that presentation needs going through again.
What the science presentation? Yeah,
yeah. You see how pertinent it is. Yeah. It's so pertinent that there's the Rumpus trying to mug people off. By using the words, think, oh, he's used that word, that must mean it's true. No, he's not. He's pissing in your face.
Yep. There's a few that people...
in the face of the scientific method, more pertinently, more importantly at this point. Yeah.
There's some baltards that still use that argument. I just wait. I just sit back and wait. I don't say anything. Until I hear it.
Normal was right.
You dumbass.
You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive.
Get lost, dummy.
Which means that invisible green pixies could be responsible for all the phenomena we put down in science.
We need to go over those few parts again. I'm going a few J's. I'm going to let it roll. Science.
Same rhetoric as Jaren, though, with regards to science.
Yeah. He did mention that. He got that from Rumpy. Unbelievable. Back to Karl Popper, Conjectures and Refutations via Wiki. Let me go back. He argued that myth.
Uh-oh! Normal was right.
You dumbass.
You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive.
Get lost, dummy.
Which means that invisible green pixies could be responsible for all the phenomena we put down in science. Invisible green pixies.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Visible green pixies.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Invisible green pixies.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Invisible green pixies.
That's all, folks.
That was very well done, if I have to say so myself.
Well, I would have done it before you. But, yeah, that was...
That's the Rumpy for you.
I gotta go for this room.
Can't hear you.
I hear you through the potatoes.
Could you imagine if you just applied his claim? You know, when I heat water, it ain't the heat causing the water to boil, fellers. It's three-toed pixies, by golly.
By golly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right, I would call this the Rumpus roast. That would be the best name for it.
Yeah.
Personally,
I thought you were Brian.
No, I'm not. I'll never live up to those standards.
So Brian's Roger.
That's funny.
So, any votes to have Rumpus back?
That's where the potatoes were pulled out. Sorry.
So, do we need Rumpy back for one more curtain call?
I don't think we should ask Nathan to compromise himself. But we could send. I could send him a message.
Send him a message. Send him a message and we'll have him on QE.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For one night only.
Yeah.
With extra toleration from us ballbusters.
Yeah.
Would you come back?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Are you going to get him to present his model of the observations of what was that island?
Isle of Man.
They argued about.
We're not going to do it. No, we won't do it.
We would maybe ask him to state how high the percentage is just below 100% for it being done. So it might be 99.9999999% in 25. It still obviously won't be done, and we wouldn't force him into finishing it. But we would ask for the percentage of it being finished.
Oh, that's acceptable. You know, ain't no rush.
6-7 years that we've been waiting. You know, it'd be unreasonable of us to expect him to present that within 6 years.
Have you got no objection to this, Brian?
Well, what I was going to say, Nathan, Adam kind of beat me to the punch earlier. Probably should have brought it up earlier, but Adam brought in, he said, it's just the same now, nothing changes. What I would say about all this is, big laugh and all of it is, we need to be paying attention to the fact that we're dealing with the same BS now, but just not even as good a standard. The way the BS was handed to us by Rumpus was way better of a standard than what we're getting now. He was a better bullshitter, let's just say. But what I would say is, the fact that we're still dealing with it, is that their fault or our fault?
I don't think there's any fault to be ascribed. It's just there's a guy who is waiting in the wings to open his anorak and pee on your back, and you're like, oh, it's not like the pee we get now is nowhere near as urine smelling as Rumpus's urine. Let's have him back. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Especially at the end of my preach.
It's called the art of war. Yeah, you don't do what your enemy expects. I want them back, and there's a reason I want them back, because he's got a better standard than the wankers that I'm dealing with. Now, years ago, we wouldn't have defined the term wankers, but we smell you all now, you wankers. So what I want to do is introduce you to what would his cult title be? Wankimus Prime. Right? This is the guy you need to learn from. Because if we are going to entertain you wankers, there's a standard of wankery that the Rumpus has set. It was civil. We knew when he was pissing in our face. I mean, but it was obvious, yeah? And he didn't overtalk. He'd just go, mute, 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 in a very polite, civilized way. You guys are boring, yeah? And you're also not as educated as him. So we should just bring him back, get him introduced to these guys.
The point has been missed, though, Adam. Sorry to overcut you. But I think the point has been missed.
No, go on, Brad, because I'm being flippant, but there is a point behind it. So I think you've got it. So go on.
Why are we still talking to people who are willing to do that? The longer we entertain people who are willing to do that, the more of them we will get to entertain. We need to set standards that stop. We have to stop entertaining these people, because if we don't, we'll never get past this point. We'll always be stuck dealing with these people. We'll never get past this point. No, there will be no progress. So in 10 years' time, there'll just be more numpty clips of some other idiots. It won't make any. In 10 years, there'll be no change in 10 years' time. That's my point. So even though funny and all Rumpus is, and he's a better baller than most of the ballers these days, I 100% agree. Actually, the older ballers were generally better all around, as in their education was higher and they were generally put up a better argument. But besides all that, what are we dealing with now? we're dealing with people who are trying to be like them. We should be gone past all them.
Yeah, but
because we kept on entertaining these people.
It's this certain type of person that decides that it's their mission to defend the globe, right? We can't help that. We can't help the people that decide.
We can decide not to engage with them.
Yeah, but if we're
not going to come with something worth
they're the only
engaging
ones that engage, what can we do about that? Right?
Not engage with them. That's what we can do.
Yeah, fine. But we have to allow them to engage in order to realize that they're the ones that we shouldn't engage with, right?
Yeah, but the likes of Brian Cox is never going to need to engage with us simply because we keep entertaining the likes of Hyoka. That's my point. We can't get the Brian Coxes. We can't put them in a position where they have to deal with us. He's not in a position where he has to deal with us. In 10 years, the only time he addressed us once in 10 years was after the TFE, where he promoted the TFE. That was it. That was a real safe time to do it. Other than that, he's never had to deal with us. Neil deGrasse Tyson, really.
I'm sorry. I think you got it backwards. I think the only reason people like Ayuka, Rumpus, and all these clowns engage with us is because those guys, Brian Cox and the Smoking the Grass Tysons, won't. Right?
Yeah, but they don't have to. They don't want to, but they're not in a position where they have to. That's my point. I'm sorry for talking over you now, but I just need to get that point across. They're not in a position where they have to. You need to put them in a position where they have to, and what we're doing is not doing that. We're just getting another wave of bullshit through Discord. That's what we're getting.
Right.
Now, I apologize for us talking Adam and Chocolate and just that John and Nathan. Okay.
Would you like me to join in so you can overtalk me too?
Well, I've already overtalked you a little bit, but if you want to join in, I'll do that again.
Your mic is trash.
Just before you do, just want to background it. Yeah.
Well, I heard an anti-Irish racist attack, which are potatoes.
What?
Background, right? That's why I introduced him into the conversation, because you're talking about entertaining liars, and you're throwing pearls to swine. That's it. Brian's backed me up. That's it. Thank you, Brian.
No worries.
Okay, so I think you're missing the point. We've set Rumpus there as a standard. The reason to invite him is to bring him in, the best you've ever had. And let's see him in 2025 for one night only. And when we're done, I would agree with Brian. It's why I like in 2025 the W word has been introduced. And as soon as we identify somebody as a wanker, you're done. I wish we could have a pre-wanker identification function within Discord. There isn't one. But what we have got is our years of knowledge, and actually just as any reasonable human being, when you do actually genuinely engage with someone, it's very easy to tell a wanker straight away. It's been demonstrated tonight on Nathan's after show. Yeah, you can smell a wanker straight away by the way they engage with you. And I think that's what Brian's calling for. The second we are there, and I agree, we go wanker and we're done with you. Do you understand? We're bored of posthumously, it's funny, and it would be lovely to have a one night only showing what an absolute muppet and how the Rumpus, even in 2025, can't substantiate anything. But the reason we would be there is to set the standard for you guys, to say we're not dealing with this anymore. He's the best you had, and we're so... Like I say, this afternoon, some freaking idiot wanting to prove that the Earth's a ball by taking a theodolite on a boat to navigate. That's the level you guys have descended to. We are done with it because you're wankers when you do that.
It's classic. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Brian Mabbott in BALLBUSTERS text chat said he asked the Rumpus. I don't know where he got a hold of the Rumpus, but that's him. I asked the Rumpus about this test 3 weeks ago. This is what he said. So everyone's seeing it online right now. Brian Mabbott said, "Are we doing the test this year?" The Rumpus replies, "I will do all in my power to make it happen. The omens are good. I will keep you up to date with the developments and contact all the other people involved." Too funny. End the message. Just caught that.
What?
Thanks, Brian. Mabbit.
Well, I want to back up Brian a little bit on this. If you look at the way that heliocentrism has come into power, I guess, or taken over, I can't think of any time it was publicly challenged. Can you?
What was publicly challenged?
Heliocentrism. It seemed like it was spread throughout secular society as almost like a cult, you know, where they believed this thing and they shared the information that they believed in with people in higher learning institutions who spread it. But there was never a discussion that I can point to and say, this is when they decided it was a ball. Was there a point where they did that?
Who are they?
Whoever was responsible for making that the default religion of the world.
That'd be the Roman Catholic Church and us. So the Roman Catholic Church come up with the idea, it's the best explanation that's offered, and then it becomes reified by the people. Us and the church.
Not the church, but we know
the Roman Catholic Church specifically.
Yeah.
At the point of reification of the ball, there is only the church. This has not kicked in yet.
It's not the church of Scripture, is what I'm saying.
But it's the only, well, from a Western point of view, you've obviously got the Eastern Orthodox Christianity that sits alone from Rome, but as far as the Western civilization is concerned, there is only the Roman Catholic Church. There's a little bit of early Protestantism in Britain and Ireland that sits alone, but for the rest of it, it's all Catholic.
And my point still stands. It's not the church spoken of in Scripture.
No. But at the point of invocation, it's the only church available to the masses. And then there's a role play played out, isn't there?
There was another church. The church was any place that people gathered to glory God. That was the church. It wasn't a building or a group of guys who claimed to have divine knowledge. It was just people who appreciated the,
We know what Adam's point is, though.
My point being, it isn't as simple as the church then said this. There's a theological argument, protestation, whether it be false or true, of a protestation by the church, an indictment of heresy by the church of people that first presuppose this, because it does go against Scripture. Then it's introduced. Who it's introduced by is interesting. That's where you get into your Jesuit stuff. Remember, there's this bullshittery beforehand, and this indictment of people for a bit. Galileo, I think, one.
Yeah, but the people they're claimed to have indicted were the people they hired to do it. It doesn't make sense. I would like to know. You know what I mean? I would like to know when it was decided.
Well, it wasn't like that. If you just allow me a minute, what they did is they took a lot of people. They got people to a point of ignorance in the Western world through the likes of the Industrial Revolution type stuff over time. But basically, people were very uneducated, and you had people who were educated making claims. People like Johannes Kepler making claims concerning the Earth and the sky that nobody knew would challenge, basically. And anyone who did, we are never going to hear about them. Do you know what I mean? The only people, the furthest back we hear about is Samuel Rowbotham. I mean, surely other people challenged this before Samuel Rowbotham, and he probably heard about those people. But the point is that when we go back to the Kepler, which is really where heliocentrism started, when we go back to there, when we go back that far, we end up in a situation where you have people like Kepler who are being supported by the likes of the church, and nobody is going to go against the church because they've got such power, not just from a spiritual point of view, or not that they have spiritual power, but you know what I mean, over people, but from a military point of view as well at the time. Do you know what I mean? Because the Pope would literally okay for someone to invade another country. So people weren't like they are today. They didn't have the position we have today. People were defending what they had to eat at the time. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they didn't have a Tesco's to go to or a Walmart's. So it was easy to gradually get that in there.
I'm not even suggesting that. I'm suggesting how it is portrayed to you historically, posthumously, what happened. Yeah, that's not even to say it's even remotely fact. Yeah, that this adaptation of the masses of the boy even occurred. That all of this transition occurred. It's just how it's recorded. Like I say, famous people are locked up for their crazy ideas of living on a boat, and then the church opposes it. Oh, it's heresy, terrible. We should kill you. We should maybe put some fucking thumb screws on you, like we've done with everybody else that suggests X, Y. Yeah, we'll lock you up, treat you well, and then get you to develop a theory. On behalf of history stinks. This is another great one where you see a false narrative play out. Oh, it's right. Yeah, yep, stinks. Right. Point being, it doesn't apply to the masses, Brian, is what people were thinking. They didn't care. It was flat. To anybody that wandered up, priest, Galileo, anyone, and said, oh, you know what, the Earth's a ball. They'd have gone, yeah, carry on the taverns down there, carry on drinking down there, mate, and moved on with their life, more importantly. It wasn't even relevant to them. At that point, all they would say was obviously flat. Water's flat. Leave me alone, you freaking lunatic.
That's kind of the message I'm trying to get across at the moment, which is to say that it is really inconsequential to you, right? You can just go about your day once you find out Earth's flat. It doesn't suddenly have some massive bearing on things. Nothing alters in terms of the way that Earth gets measured and functionally and practically applied. So therefore, you start assessing what you're relinquishing for the heliocentric model. Does that affect you in any way? Yeah, it does. But they're all negative. It's all propaganda and fear porn. So when you look at it and go, okay, well, if I relinquish myself of this belief, which is obviously upon assessment of the measurements of Earth, what it actually is, you appreciate that what it's been used for doesn't have any practical benefit to you, only used to control you.
Well, it's not, you can't even classify it as a belief if you're looking at the measurements, because the measurements are not of a curved surface. It's like delusion. That's the only word I got, is delusional. It's delusional.
Yeah. Hard to look at it any other way other than a delusion when you know it's measured flat. You can't, I say it's hard for me to reify it into a ball these days. It's hard to fantasize the heliocentric paradigm as a physical entity because you know it's measured flat. You know, the maths creates it with flat Earth measurements of a surface that's flat. So to think, well, I'll just pretend it's a ball, and it's like, it kind of beggars belief that people like Jaron currently can suggest that they can entertain that. The only conclusion I can draw from that is that those type of people never knew it was flat, based on the fact that I can't walk away from how Earth is measured when you know how the ball's created with those measurements. You can't go back to the ball after knowing that. It's impossible.
All right, we ready for the next numpty clip? I am.
Wait, just 1 second here. So is this whole thing about bringing Rumpus back, is this a joke?
No.
I hope so.
Have you ever gotten back with an ex-girlfriend?
And how long does it take you to remember why the fuck you left her? Over.
That is the perfect analogy, my friend. Perfect. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Hold on a second. Adam never slept with Rumpus.
No, I can deal with it better than that. All right. Have you ever had that girlfriend? Yeah. If you had the caveat of for one night only, not got to deal with her ever again in the morning, but for one night only.
It's just not true. Never happens. They always promise that, though.
Well, I've got a mute button here. I've got a server mute button for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. She's gone. Server muted. The caveat is one night only. So, with that analogy that you put to me, whoever it was, would you? Is there a girlfriend from your past? Just for one night only?
Okay. So, I'll respond to that, and I'll say, how long did it take to get rid of Rumpus? 7, 8 years?
It wasn't get rid of. It was to validate he's a liar. Now, him coming back will only reinforce that. Yeah, it won't suddenly come back and go, "Ooh, maybe he should be called the Venerable Rumpus, possibly the Saint." Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. It would only validate us, right, for one night only.
This could be that one night only.
This sounds like self-gratification now, Adam. You realize that, right?
It is a little bit. It's a little cruel, some might suggest. Yeah.
So, Adam, do you ever regret a one-night stand? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, come on now. Let's get out and stop with the ridiculousness.
That's a good question.
Perfect comparison.
No. We're going to move on to the next numpty clip.
It was not a one-night stand. He was a long-standing relationship.
Oh, boy.
Can I offer a really unpopular opinion?
Go ahead. You got one?
Yeah. So even though it would be entertaining, it's kind of like if you were a boxer and you started out in the lightweights and you went all the way through the lightweights and you beat the best lightweight there is, which is Rumpus. And now you've graduated all the way to the heavyweight. So you decide to go back and just pummel on the best lightweight there is. From a public standpoint, it would not look very good, in my opinion.
And that would be fine if there were any heavyweights. What I'm saying is he's the best. He is the world heavyweight champion of ballers.
Yep.
Why we were giving like sarcastic tongue-in-cheek kudos to him, but his delivery, his ability to contradict himself and move forwards in one sentence without sometimes you noticing is way above the standard that any of these featherweights, bantamweights that we come across today. That, right? Yeah.
Well, I think he's a lightweight, but okay.
He is, but everybody else is featherweight in comparison.
Yeah.
There's nothing left, mate. Honestly. There's nothing left. Hence the old man reminiscing this evening.
You would feel it too if you ever. Oh, wait a second. Says who? Have you ever conversated personally with the Rumpus?
I have not.
You need that. You have needed to have done that to put your hat in the ring.
Well. All right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
That's how I dismissed you. You like how I did that?
Did you ever see Freddie Mercury perform live?
Yeah, good point.
I'm still hung up on the fact that you said sorry.
What are you hung up on, Flatsy?
That you said conversated. Oh my gosh.
Conversated.
Have you ever conversed with?
Who gives a shit? You know what the hell I meant. More. So we're on to the next numpty clip. Now I haven't listened. Shut up. I haven't listened to this in years. I think after I first made it, I probably didn't listen to it again. So we're gonna. Now this is ironic because I think I was watching one of the New Perspectives videos the other day, and Moyoc Man turned up. I said, "Oh my God, he's over there." So this is Moyoc Man from back in the day. Here he comes to save the day, Moron Man. May 2021. Oh, 2021.
We go with the best information at the time, and that's what we move forward with.
So phlogiston was the best information at the time, and they just moved forward with that. How'd that work out for them?
I have a theory why the mice exploded in Australia and they started taking over the grain stores.
Wrong. That's not a scientific theory, moron. You're referring to a colloquial theory. That is, a wild guess or abject speculation, as opposed to a scientific theory. From the University of Rochester PhysicsLabs.edu, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed through repeated experimental tests. All you did here is faceplant into a clumsy, moronic equivocation fallacy.
And then later on, I find out that theory was wrong.
Shocking. You mean to tell me your abject speculation was wrong? Who'd have thunk it? Here he comes to save the day, moron man.
And that was a problem. And then we figured out what the problem was later on. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we had a theory of it.
Are you high right now?
So let me get this straight. You figured out what the problem was, then maybe you didn't, and then you conjured another abject speculation? When does your Rhodes scholarship end? Moron man!
That was your dependent or independent variable for
dependent? Dependent is time.
So time is your dependent variable?
Yes.
What's your independent variable of the cause
variable
of
is
time?
velocity.
Velocity is the cause of time.
You get that one? You like that one?
Who was that pinning him?
That was
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
That was good.
It was really good. It seems that he's become retarded as of the last few years in the land of misfit toys. That's what it appears to be.
The side effect of just being in the room.
Yep.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Correct.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
What's velocity?
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Time over distance.
Say hello to my little friend!
So velocity is time over distance. So 50 seconds per 200 miles is velocity. Time over distance is a non sequitur fallacy, non-unit of measure for anything. You must have been going for distance over time, as in 200 miles per hour. You're still wrong, because that's speed. Speed is a scalar, where velocity is a vector. What?
This came up, didn't it, a bit ago? We looked at. So, velocity is two measurements combined, so it's a first order measurement.
Thanks, Adam. Quantity. It's got magnitude and direction. You'd not only fail 6th grade intro to physics, you'd bollo a 2nd grade basic reasoning course. I'm embarrassed just listening to your dumbass. It's anybody's guess what abject stupidity is next to projectile diarrhea out of that ball-tard blowhole of yours.
Now, if you do that, now we can also naturally, if you want to stick with this stupid-ass natural thing.
So natural science is stupid-ass. Well, that follows, coming from you and your ilk. It's merely standard fare you get from fanatical religiotards. You ever hear of science versus religion? Well, that science is now bow your back against it. Thanks for confirming. Psst, we already knew.
Retarded asshole.
We don't need to hear the foreword from your autobiography.
My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass.
You don't start with a hypothesis. You start with an observed phenomena, your dependent variable. Number 2, mass attracts mass is the poster child. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
My hypothesis is mass attracts mass. I've not actually heard that actually said sincerely by anyone. Men, can I have a J? It's been many a year. My hypothesis is. Oh, I've got messages from Witsit.
Is that your hypothesis?
No, I've just looked up at my screen and there's little Witsit's face in the top corner. Hello, Witsit.
Who cares? All right, I gave you a J. Here we go. You don't start with a hypothesis. You start with an... Well, let's go back. We already knew.
Retarded asshole.
We don't need to hear the foreword from your autobiography.
My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass.
You don't start with a hypothesis. You start with an observed phenomena, your dependent variable. Number 2, mass attracts mass is the poster child of circular reasoning. Number 3, the independent variable and the dependent variable can't be the same. Number 4, you or anyone else for that matter can't even define the friggin' disheveled monkey. Mass. At the very best, it's a concept. And concepts don't physically attract each other, moron. In conclusion, if your 5th grade general science teacher said, okay, to pass my class, post a viable scientific hypothesis regarding anything, and you responded with, mass attracts mass, you'd be taking 5th grade general science over again. You numpty.
So, what's your independent and dependent variable?
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, really, shamalama gamma panda retard, science illiterate. Now go sit your dumbass down in the corner, and if we need any snacks or refreshments, we'll signal your natural experiment birds humping slobber nurses, and they can help direct you. Other than that, just sit down and shut the fuck up.
'Cause I don't know, mass is your independent and dependent variable, or what?
Let's see. I'm trying to think with my dependent variable. I really don't like these terms.
Here he comes to save the day, moron man.
Okay, this is not my...
does not have that. Hypothesis is just a proposal.
Ay, caramba!
A proposal is the act of offering or suggesting something for acceptance, whereas a scientific hypothesis is a predictional supposition into natural cause and effect relationships. You dumbass cracker! Do you make synthetic fur balls for ceramic cats? Here he comes to save the day, moron man.
Waves are not associated with with tides.
What the hell did you just say?
Waves are not tides.
From NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, .gov, tides are very long period waves. Listen up. Here he comes to save the day, moron man. Take the next 3 days off, then quit. Another one.
That's all, folks.
I didn't use that ending a lot. I hit 2 of them right in a row. That's pretty surprising. All right. How'd you like that one? Good?
Are you getting ready to have a nostalgia week where you just do numpties from the past and invite them back?
I don't know. Maybe.
You don't need to invite them back. That's not of a standard that's worth inviting back. If mass, then mass attracts mass. You want more of that? No. That's what I'm saying.
You want Rumpus back, though.
As far as you
I want
know.
somebody that goes, I don't know what mass is, but if mass did attract mass, then mass would attract mass and therefore prove gravity. Understand? But I do agree with you, we don't know what mass is. That's a rumpusy. What's that? That's somebody floundering. You need to throw him a life ring. You need Brian Go and educate him for a minute. Yeah, to help him out. Rumpus makes his own life ring out of bullshit. It's fantastic.
It might be easier if you just took the tack hammer out of their hand that they're hitting themselves in the face with.
I just want a competent bullshitter back out of the crap we're being subjected to. I want a heavyweight bullshitter like the Rumpus was, not the flyweights, whoever said that. Who says who? Yeah, these guys are flyweights, mate. Look at what's being put to us. Look at Rumpus. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Oh, boy.
I bet back in the day you never would have thought you'd say these words that you're saying today.
I'm waiting for the Adam Meakin and Rumpus sitting in a tree. K-I-F.
Oh, it's definitely coming now, Adam. It's definitely coming now. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, but I've empowered myself by getting it out there first. But there's no love between him. It's genuinely an indictment as to at least the level of intellect that our opposition presented. I think that's the pertinent point. Yeah. Rumpus had a level. He was still lying, and we had to see through it. But there was a level of intellect that made it difficult. Yeah. Whereas now, look at these dumb fucks. It's easy. It's like Neo at the end in the Matrix. Ooh, just stick a hand out. Ooh, boring. You know what I mean? Come on, guys, up your game. One last chance before you're indicted, just as wankers and summarily dismissed.
I'm looking through the numpty clips trying to find another one.
Fair enough. I don't necessarily want another one. I think I reiterated the point that Brian's making there. Very magnanimous offer, really. And it's something I've heard Eli talk about. He's recognised how much of his time he's wasting with these wankers. And he's realised he's bored of it. There's something out there to help us all. The bald proponent and the flat earther, and we should engage. But where we don't want to engage anymore is somebody that's got an agenda, as is being demonstrated, and he's identified as a wanker in short shrift. We're warning you, we're done with that. Either up your game to the standard of the Rumpus, so it's really hard to tell sometimes, yeah, or fuck off, basically, if I'm being honest, yeah? You PRICKSers.
Let's go with a shorter one this time. Only a couple minutes. Go ahead and share it. This is JLB and George Hanachek. We have John LeBon Clown and George the Space Git. Shut up!
JLB and George Hanachek, the shithouse. God rest his soul.
Yeah. We have John LeBon Clown and George the Space Git Idiot. 29 September 2018.
So, John.
All right,
oh, this was way back there, boy.
John LeBon and George Hanachek, the Space Git Idiot. God rest his soul.
2018, man. This is an oldie. 29 September 2018.
So, John, that's not what I've done. I've said, which North are we talking about? There's several.
Oh, there are? What are the several Norths?
Not George. Not George. I don't care about you. You're thick.
Okay.
Well, I also don't know what the several Norths are, so can you help me? What are the several Norths?
Really?
You serious?
So we have two daft numpty baltards that go a hammering away on the C4 fire that don't know the different Norse. This is tantamount to an alleged carpenter not knowing what a framing square is, or a butcher not knowing what a ribeye is. And a special bonus. 2 minutes before this debacle, your collective self-admitted train wreck, you were asking Nathan for a map. You just can't make this shit up, folks. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. You know when you're sitting in class for a week daydreaming, not paying any attention to the blocks of instruction, and the professor suddenly exclaims, "Test tomorrow, any questions?" Hopefully you realize you're trapped in a dilemma, sort of a catch-22. You absolutely need to ask questions, but if you ask any questions, you're exposed. The professor, along with everyone in the class and their sisters, knows exactly where you're at. This is what's happening now to you two bozos. The truly hilarious thing? You don't even know it. Allow me to lift the veil for you.
Look at you, big dummy.
There are 4 Norse. Magnetic north, that's where your compass points. Geographic north, or true north, this is where all your fairy tale lines of longitude, i.e. meridians, converge in the north. 3. Grid north. This is a navigational phrase. It's the direction of a plane grid system used to refer to northward on a grid line in a map projection. And number 4. Don't do that. You scared the damn daylights out of me.
Get that citation for the book, mister. Chapter 2. We need that.
You want the citations for the Norths?
Flatsy knows what we're talking about. Mapping and north. That's what we want for this point. Yeah, you're making it here 6 years ago, whatever it is. That's what we need for this one. You know the punchy bits.
Let's go through them again. I don't know if I have. It's. I could perhaps dig them out. Just listen to them. Shut up.
On a side, I've sent you an old cartoon I drew, like put together on George. Can you a space git?
Yeah, you don't want to do that because he's passed.
No, well, that's exactly what it's to do with when he meets St. Peter at the gates.
Oh boy!
Look at you, big dummy.
There are 4 Norse. Magnetic north, that's where your compass points. Geographic north, or true north, this is where all your fairy tale lines of longitude, i.e. meridians, converge in the north. 3. Grid north. This is a navigational phrase. It's the direction of a plane grid system used to refer to northward on a grid line in a map projection. And number 4, celestial north. That's where Polaris is? Just tattoo pretender clown moron on your foreheads and be done with it already. By the way, everybody knows that you're abject retards. You're not fooling anyone. You can take this with you on your way out.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all.
That wasn't too much from those guys. I took over this whole thing. That's pretty funny. All right. Any more?
You're going to hell.
Going to hell. Why?
If I am, T-Mars will keep my seat warm.
Did you ever capture between man that guy? His whole rant.
No, he wasn't around back then.
Oh, you're going ancient. Okay, you're going back in the catalog. Got you.
Yeah, he did. Mr. Bombaclat wasn't back there then. No.
The ancients, like the ancients.
Akuma virus. Don't make me think about flat Earth. Find that.
He didn't make the numpty clips.
That's he.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that cartoon too much for a day? I don't think it is. I don't think that's rude.
Where'd you put it?
In BALLBUSTERS
I put it in BALLBUSTERS so the other guys could see it.
BALLBUSTERS chat and Discord, or BALLBUSTERS and Skype?
In the soon-to-be dead Skype.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got Lumpy and this Discord BALLBUSTERS text chat talking to himself.
Oh, Adam, that's you little stinker, you.
Funny you make satirical comments sometimes. I'll put that out there. I find that very apt. This is, again, if we were, like I say, it's not speaking ill of the dead, but if we were to summarise his input into, like I say, when I look back on these stuff, we've been talking about, yeah, and this is, I don't know how old that is, you know. It's at the point that George dies, the space git. Yeah, that's when that's made. And why is it made? Because look at it. What's it saying?
Well, to answer your question, I try to live life without offense, so it's I don't get offended by really any of this kind of stuff. So there you go.
Crusader.
Pull it up. Come on.
I'm not
I've talked about it that much. If I'm a shithouse speaking of the dead, so be it. But you can't let the audience not see it.
All right, hold on. All right, it's being presented.
Hey, hold on. I'm sorry. Just to go back a few seconds. Did you say Virus didn't make the numpty clips? Or he's probably got one of the best ones?
No, he made, they're too short, right? So, but I have them on audio. That's just not on the numpty clips.
Yeah, we need Virus with Nathan saying, got me to the flat Earth, bro.
That's what I was saying,
yeah. So, hold on, Chocolate, we're jumping. Adam, do you want to say something to this?
I'm just going to watch chat as to whether I'm speaking ill of the dead, or that's a fair point to summarise that shithouse's contribution. That shill, what he did, the depths he stooped to. Yeah? I thought that was quite nice. It's better than my summary.
Yeah, it was better than your summary. All right.
Yeah. Like I say, we've been on about interactions. You look at Jaren, you look at Witsits, and all the people we've called out and where they are now today, and people like George. You would make a cartoon like that, yeah, after he's passed away, because that's what a disingenuous wanker he was in the real world. That's not to indict him past it. In the middle of a debate, this shithouse, because he didn't know I was going to have to start to have a shave. Remember that? Yeah, I'll have a shave.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
this
what
is
you
how
mean.
disrespectful it were at any point. Yeah, and this is all that's happening with all of this. It's just, you summarise it earlier as pissing in your face. It's just disrespect. It's anything but deal with your point. Yeah? Be it you're not qualified to make that point, or these tactics which will distract from it.
I got another one of your favorites.
Go on.
Hold on. I gotta share it.
I know this is a little reminiscent, but it's why you get to the point of using the W term.
Oh,
'Cause
this
it's
is
an identifier. It's a poker tell, isn't it?
this one's a pure W.
What we got? Oh, everybody! Oh, the numpty from down under.
All right. Roofie, the numpty from down under, greater than infinite refraction retard, February 2021.
Literally prove that heat causes water to boil. How will you do it?
That's a tough one. You're really playing hardball now. Let's see. I'll get a kettle of water, and then all of a sudden, like, throw some fire underneath it. Good? What's next? How do we open a door?
You're going to heat something and the water boils. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, you crayon munching knuckle dragging window licker. It's not supernatural, you bozo. How long is this gonna take?
Right, so if heat causes water to boil, then if I apply heat, it will cause the water to boil. Well done, you've just affirmed the consequent. Well done. Affirmed the consequent fallacy.
What in the great googly moogly are you talking about, dude? That's a classic modus ponens. You said, if heat causes water to boil, and if I apply heat, it will cause the water to boil. Well, if heat is P, causes water to boil Q, if I apply heat P, it will cause the water to boil Q. That's a perfect deductive syllogism. And affirming the consequent is if P then Q, Q therefore P. You said if P then Q, P therefore Q. This is a classic example of affirming the numpty. You!
Give me a logical syllogism that heat causes water to boil.
That's easy. We'll just use the one you provided.
Right, so if heat causes water to boil, then if I apply heat, it will cause the water to boil.
There you go, numpty. Thanks.
You cannot prove something scientifically. You can falsify something, but you cannot prove it.
That's numpty bollocks. If I falsify something, I ipso facto prove the converse true. For example, like I've demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt today, if I falsified that you're not a numpty, then I prove that you're a numpty. By the way, your mindless parrot of no science proofsies. From Lumen Learning, Biology for Majors Forming a Hypothesis. You must be able to test your hypothesis, and it must be possible to prove your hypothesis true. Duh. From Genome Research, 1999, Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. Students are taught that the proper way to do science is through the following steps. First, devise a hypothesis, and then design experiments that will prove or disprove it. My word. From Anne-Marie Helmenstein, PhD, Biomedical Sciences, requirements for a testable hypothesis. In order to be considered testable, two criteria must be met. It must be possible to prove the hypothesis is true, and it must be possible to prove the hypothesis is false. Duh. Let's wrap your dumpster fire up with Dr. Craig Venter, the geneticist of geneticists, Celera Genomics, National Institutes of Health. You know, there's some things we can do in science in terms of proving certain things in life we discover. Duh. By the way.
Math is a very big part of science, yes.
Wrong again, numpty. From Richard Feynman, the Feynman Lectures on Physics. Mathematics is not a science from our point of view, in the sense that it is not a natural science. The test of its validity is not experiment. From Dr. Carey Mullis, Nobel Laureate, Biochemistry. Mathematics, which is really not science. From Professor of Physics Black Krishnan, ITT Madras. That's the whole point about physics. It's not mathematics. So...
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over.
That's it from the Nunty from the Andy.
Hey, QE.
What?
That clip is Frank Gifford, Monday Night Football.
It's Frank Gifford and Dandy Don Meredith.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Missed all of that one. Only because I was talking to Paula in chat.
What were you talking to Paula about?
Well, she sent me a video and a question. It was in Master B. Saying, what's the formula for this? I've invited her in. I don't know if she's going to drop in.
What's the formula for what?
What is the formula for... Oh, this is what I don't understand, because I don't know what I was being asked. But she said, is there a formula? But it was to do... It's book related. Vestibular system. So what she'd done is sent me a video that kind of uses how... And it links to one of my early presentations, which is Carousel Earth. But she sent me a video where, if you think in 2001 A Space Odyssey, and they've got it rotating to generate an artificial gravity, a centripetal acceleration to push you down, so the guys, could maintain whatever. And there's all these things how through sci-fi, the way in which they balance this from Ringworld down to, I don't know, Star Trek, you know what I mean? How all these things are put together. And there's bits in there that's formulary that they present. It's quite relevant tonight, actually, because there's bits in there. They talk about acceleration here, down forces here. None of it having anything to do with gravity, yeah? So in all of the sci-fi explanations, they're trying to make a gravity by inducing rotation and the applied upward force. The apologetics they give is with mechanics and tangential stuff. Paula, are you there? No, can do on this show. Okay, fair enough. So apologies for my worst explanation. But she was kind of pointing out that, I don't know, it seemed to me that the question was, and I need a thumbs up, Paula, at what point does the vestibular system detect movement?
All points.
As in its action, which would be easily described as an accelerometer, put simply.
Yeah.
What's its limitations?
There is.
Is that the question you're asking me? The bit I wanted to just focus on was that last bit, just because it's to do with tonight, and that video when I watched it, and that was my disconnect. That all of these things have got nothing to do with mass attracting mass, any presupposed bending of space-time. All of these sci-fi writers recognize what's occurring to invoke an effect, with physics, something you can test in the real world, and how even with their sci-fi, what they don't do is try and build a world where mass attracts mass. They try and invoke a force that's real in the real world, and then take out into the bullshittery of space, the bullshit of the vacuum of space. That was the interesting thing. So from Arthur C. Clarke, to Pratchett, all of them use known physics when they go out into the contradiction of known physics to describe their sci-fi. Is it? That would be the interesting bit, but I got a thumbs up. I have no idea. Very small. Is what I'd say.
So back to the question. The question is what amount or kind of
maybe
motion?
I should do.
Holy shit, Adam, relax.
Okay, sorry.
The question is what amount or kind of motion does it take our vestibular system to notice? Anything. It's all everything.
So maybe I will do my carousel. We should do that next week. I'll do my old school, back in the day, Iron Realm. I'd just fumbling around in the dark, using a bit of maths and taking their presupposition and analysing it and applying it.
Well, you're going to find out the answer to this question. I'm thinking that it's any type of any angular velocity whatsoever. It'll detect it.
I think so.
I think so, too. In fact, I know so.
It's an exceptionally accurate accelerometer.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of accelerometers, it was put up yesterday that somebody said pendulum is an accelerometer, and they supported it. From what I saw.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to talk to them. Somebody else told me of it, and they sent the support with it. What say you?
I don't know what you mean. Somebody said pendulum and supported it. Is that
somebody said pendulum is an accelerometer? For God's sake!
Sorry,
I didn't hear that either, Adam.
Shut up.
I just heard pendulum, and they validated it.
I was checking. I didn't know what the claim was.
Am I chopping?
Pendulum is an accelerometer.
It was just a sentence fragment. That's all.
It wasn't a sentence fragment. I said.
I understand what they mean by that. Accelerometers always reference down. Pendulums always reference down. So they're trying to marry the two of them together and go, because they both do the same thing. They reference down in relation to the horizontal plane, of course, but that's what they do. That's the whole point of an accelerometer. So they're trying to marry the two and maybe add in some gravity nonsense. You know the usual rubbish they do.
What is, if it's an accelerometer, what acceleration is it measuring?
According to them, I would say it's a 9.81 meters per second squared.
No. 9.81 meters per second squared of what? The pendulum?
You're chopping.
Really?
Yeah, you started that sentence there with 9.8 and I heard nothing more.
Am I chopping, guys, or what?
You were chopping.
I can add context to this pendulum nonsense because I talked to the guy.
Oh, yeah, you did talk.
Please.
So the argument he was making is that Foucault's pendulum is an accelerometer detecting the rotation of the Earth. So I asked him to go ahead and support that with a citation. I had to leave, so he didn't actually ever provide that citation. But if he did, good for him. But I don't think he's going to get there from what he's trying to make an argument with the pendulum.
No. He didn't answer that question. He just answered the question: is a pendulum an accelerometer? Not the rest of what you said. No, we didn't do that.
Right.
Now, a pendulum maintains its period in free space. Okay. It's not affected by anything. An accelerometer detects an acceleration. The pendulum, if you're going to then use it as a methodology for measuring Earth rotation, isn't equivalent, is it, to an acceleration? There's no acceleration being measured. It's hanging in free space, not detecting anything, not being affected by anything, whilst the Earth rotates underneath.
He wasn't making that claim, Adam. He was just stating that a pendulum is an accelerometer.
And that's what I just went through, why it can't be. Because if it's going to be an accelerometer for Earth rotation, it would have to be...
Nope. Just an accelerometer. Not for...
No, that's not what says who said. Say it again, says who.
No, not say it again, says who. I just answered, says who. Not say it again, says who.
Then I've missed the claim then.
Well, he just...
I thought it was an accelerometer. You could use a pendulum as an accelerometer with respect to Earth rotation.
No. That's what says whose question was to him. His claim was just this. A pendulum is an accelerometer. Full stop.
That's more retarded.
Ask your wench.
I don't need to. I just outlined. You could try and postulate how, even though it's contradictory to the action of the pendulum with regards to Coriolis, and that's why you would use a Foucault pendulum. It's contradictory, that description of how it works, for them to then describe it as an accelerometer. When you're describing it's acting in free space, but detecting and reacting to accelerations, if it's in free space, it's doing the contrary. Yeah, this is what these shithouses do. You see what I mean? Sounds clever, doesn't it? But actually, I'm just pissing in your face with big words until you figure it out and go, oh no, it's actually just the contrary. This is all they do.
So, Bible U, is everybody chopping now? She wrote that in chat. I just checked it. So, it shouldn't be. I'm golden. Let's see what she answers back. I'm getting tired of this, by the way.
Weird, isn't it?
It's starting to wear on my last nerve. Yeah, she says not now. Okay. All right, well, you're not going to ask your wench. Is a pendulum an
You're gonna ask. Sorry, I don't get.
So, says who? From Adam's Wench. It might not be specifically Adam's Wench, but it's AI overview. It says, while a pendulum can be used to measure acceleration. Really? Acceleration of what? It's not inherently an accelerometer. It's a device that, when used with the right setup, can function as one. What?
Ask her what setup, then.
Here's a more detailed explanation. A pendulum, due to its inherent behavior, can be used to determine acceleration, especially in situations where the acceleration is constant.
Acceleration of what?
Yeah, that's my question. Yes, exactly. That's been my question the whole time, by the way.
If I strap it to my back and run around, is that what you mean?
Nope, you got the grandfather clock on there with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that is correct. So when I took the piss out of that guy earlier, why you wouldn't take a grandfather clock on a boat to keep time, it's not a suitable chronometer because it's based on a pendulum. See what I mean? It's bullshit. Just even AI was just fog and mirror.
Yeah, how it works. When a pendulum swings, the angle it makes with the vertical is directly related to the acceleration acting on it. What? So it's measuring its own inherent acceleration is what this is really stupid. Second point. By measuring this angle, you can calculate the acceleration. What, of the pendulum arm? What the hell? Accelerometer versus pendulum. Accelerometer. An accelerometer is a specialized sensor designed to directly measure acceleration. Pendulum. A pendulum is a physical system that exhibits oscillatory motion, and its behavior can be used to infer acceleration. Infer acceleration of what? Oh, let me put this. Sorry.
Ask it to clarify. How can a pendulum be used to infer acceleration?
Hold on. We're not done yet. Just keep a hold of that. So this is where I read from I've just been reading up and down this, folks. Examples. Now they say examples of pendulum accelerometers. Does AI know that they're contradicting themselves? I don't know. So, a pendulous integrating gyroscopic accelerometer. Right up your alley, Adam. This type of accelerometer uses a pendulum to measure acceleration and simultaneously integrates it into produce a speed measure. Quartz pendulum accelerometers. These are used in control systems for aircraft and space objects. Huh? Clocks. Pendulums are commonly used in clocks to regulate the timekeeping mechanism on Adam's back.
Yeah. Question about that, QE. What about the thing that keeps the musicians in tempo? What is that called? That swings back and forth to keep you on beat.
That's a metronome.
Yeah, metronome.
Metronome. Okay. Okay. Yep. Metronome. Okay. All right. My bad.
Swings. Children's swings are a fun example of a pendulum in action. Thanks a lot. Modern accelerometers. Modern accelerometers are often micro electromechanical systems, the MEMS, that are used to handle devices like smartphones and cameras to detect movement and orientation. So, is there a PIGA or a quartz pendulum accelerometer in a MEMS?
That's what he said. A what? A PIGA? A what?
PIGA. A pendulous integrating gyroscopic accelerometer right here. Oh, I guess you guys aren't...
A PIGA, obviously. Common. I have one in my kitchen.
Sorry, I didn't share it with Discord. I was just sharing it with YouTube folks.
Well, what I've just learned is that you can put your kid on a swing and then pull your kid in an accelerometer. That'll work.
That'll work. The kid's accelerating. There's no doubt about that. Listen to Adam back there.
I wanted to use that kid on a swing and strap it to the back of an aircraft or spaceship, as was suggested by AI.
All right, what's the question you want me to ask?
What? If I said it sarcastically, what am I doing? Strapping a pendulum to my back and running around and measuring how it doesn't behave like a pendulum anymore to get measurements? Or am I using... Yeah? Now, remember what they use a pendulum for. And in the ball rhetoric. If it does that, strap it to my back and run around or stick it on an aeroplane, then I'm using the fact that it's supposed to move in free space, but I'm applying shear forces, which is a validation of Coriolis, is what they're trying to do here, isn't it? Or what they'll lead to. Or what anybody's trying to do.
Are you going to give me a question to ask this dude?
I'm kind of working out what see, shithousers come in with a question like this and work backwards for you to have to... I don't mind this. Yeah. So, absolutely, I will take all your points. You apply shear forces to the structure on which the pendulum is mounted, then the pendulum will move. That means a Foucault pendulum doesn't work as described.
It's not a question.
Yeah. Is that it?
Food, right? No, it's not a question. It's a statement. If you're going to invoke that, then the shear forces is not how a Foucault pendulum. Foucault pendulum, it parabolates, yeah, and the Earth rotates underneath. Not a shear force is applied to the pendulum, and the shear force, in this case being the Earth rotation, twisting the mechanism, means the pendulum gives a period change which you can measure.
It's not twisting. No, it's not. No. That's not how a Foucault pendulum works. No.
And the Earth rotates underneath.
Yeah.
Yes, not
the Earth rotating applies a shear force to the mechanism.
Exactly.
Like,
correct.
If I strap it to my back and run around.
It's important that this might slip the audience by, and it's just one of those things that cemented Coriolis for me personally. The summary that was just gone over by Huey and Adam is to say that pendulum in this story of a globe Earth turning will always abide by its base principle of going backwards and forwards and nothing else. So in the story of Foucault pendulums, you've got a pendulum doing exactly that, going back and forth and nothing else, just back and forth and nothing else. But it's knocking over the dominoes, right? Yes, because it's the Earth that is alleged to be turning underneath the frickin' pendulum.
Yep.
Yeah, you heard it. That's what they're alleging. Earth turns under the pendulum, so the dominoes are moving around. The pendulum's merely going back and forth always. So when they try and deny it and claim conservation of angular momentum, to weasel their way out of their actual claim, what's the Foucault pendulum doing? What's it alleged to be showing you? It's alleged to be showing you Earth turning underneath, as preposterous as that is.
Yep.
That's what it's alleged to be showing you.
Well, they got a problem.
Excuse me. According to Rumpus, pendulums go in figure eight.
Figure eight, yeah.
That was a quote. Pendulums go in a figure of eight. End quote. The
I
Rumpus.
think I got that somewhere.
Real quick question. So the thing that you always see, like the big CEO guy, he has it on his desk, and it's a thing swinging with these beads that go left to right. That's like a pendulum, right? Little device, like it's like silver. You know what I'm talking about? There's silver. There's like
cradle. You know, with the ball bearings at the bottom.
yeah, and they swing. You know, you clack them and they go.
You got to belly up to that mic, Adam.
No,
I was eating.
He's talking about Cavendish.
No, a Newton's cradle is where, you know, if you pull two balls back, you drop onto the 5, then 2 will bounce out the other side. You pull 3 balls back, 3 will bounce out the other side. 1 ball, yeah? It's a Newton's cradle.
Okay, but that's not a pendulum type of simulator, is
You're
it?
talking about where there's lots of balls in a row and there's one in the middle that potentially won't move.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Is that a pendulum? Is that a pendulum simulator?
Well,
no.
No, that's not a pendulum.
If you moved all the balls at once in a pendulous motion, then potentially, yeah, but not really.
The best way to describe that would be as a Newton's cradle.
Yes.
That's what it is. Anyway, the alleged turn of Earth is supposed to be demonstrated in the Foucault pendulum and in gyroscopes. The alleged reason that it is claimed that they drift. Now, obviously, it's absurd because the principle of a gyroscope is defied if you suggest that it's drifting. In reality, that would just assert that it's faulty, because they're supposed to remain fixed in free space, right? Just spin in the same position. And then if you move the cage, it will move and the gyro will stay in fixed space, spinning in space, right? So therefore, if it starts to deviate from that, it's not a functional gyro anymore. That's why you need someone like Bob Nodell to be asserting that he, not globe Earth priests, observes the drift. Bob was a fucking stooge, wasn't he?
The things he said were contrary to our position and his position, yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. Adam, take us home.
Ticked a lot of the criteria went through today for a cult leader.
He's not paying attention, Adam.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
Very abrupt. I'm still in the middle.
Settle as a brick in.
Are we really? Serious? Is that it?
Yeah.
If it's a moment of sensitivity, I'm going to round out with a eulogy to Bob. Or have we got to end, really?
No, we're not rounding out with the
eulogy to Bob.
Just round out, for God's sake.
I've got to round out, okay.
Oh, you're eating, for God's sake.
That's what I'm saying, really?
Oh, Domine. On my knees, requiem.
My God.
Right. I've got a round out. I'm good. Again, it's good to go over the old shit because it reinforces the current position, which is wankers. Listen up, wankers. Yeah, we're done with you, right? We do want one night, one final night with the Rumpus to show how low your standards have dropped. Yeah, but after that, I think we're going to be justified moving forward, having demonstrated how low your standards have dropped over the years. If we do get just one more night, just one sweet night with the Rumpus. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know it. And I think we'd all enjoy that, other than Nathan can close his eyes and shut his ears, and it'll be fine as we just roll through the sheets one more time with the Rumpus. Enjoy that.
Deviant showing. Put that away. Put that away, mister.
That's enough out of you guys. That's enough for this evening, man. That was really bad. Adam, I got you on mute too, you damn skippy I do. That's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll catch you when you catch you. We out ski.
Step up in this game like I'm hammering nails. Burst a flat plane, listen up, I'll tell you tales. Home Depot vibes on my tools, no fails. Level up my vision while the world just derails. Sharon said it first, now I'm chasing the truth. First wanna know, is he shilling or aloof? Now I'm flexing with the facts while they playing the fool. Flat earth, no curve, I'm breaking all the rules. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they say no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. Rolling deep through Antarctica, you know what's up. Snowflakes in the air, yeah, we sipping from the cup. Well, Duffy said, trust me, I came out of the blue. Started from the hustle, now I'm building my crew. Wait, I'm stacking up truth like I'm lumber from the store. Got the blueprint, baby, I'm ready for war. See the horizon straight, no dip in my sight. Thug life on the flat, bringing knowledge to the fight. With this line, Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So I'm here to break walls, I'm kicking down doors, hash street life, I'm hustling, what's mine is ours. A whole new vision, we gon' stack and we gon' rise. With my crew by my side, we defy all the lies. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on a 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on our 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah.
The flat